The following is a presentation of ABC Sport. Join us this February when the world comes to America for the 1980 Winter Olympics.
It's the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. The Houston Oilers against the Miami Dolphins. And a year ago, what a game they played. One of the greatest in the history of Monday Night Football. Spectacular offensive show. And yet it was even more than that. It was a very special night for everybody in Houston and for many in the state of Texas. It was a happening. Let's look back.
Houston has the Oilers, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, always in control. And when you say the Oilers, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers #1. Yes, we're the Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers #1.
The Houston song echoed through the whole night, and so did Earl Campbell. That was his third touchdown. This was his fourth, in one of the most remarkable series of runs you've ever seen. Look at those stats, the way it was. Houston 35, Miami 30.
20 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras. Stand by in videotape. Stand by slow-mo. Stand by to open your mics on the field. Stand by in graphics. Ready with your opening super. Stand by the announcers in the booth, please. And roll tape. 3, 2, 1. Take tape.
We are live from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Houston Oilers against the Miami Dolphins. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Buick, where you'll find very fine cars and very good thinking, and everything from Riviera and the mid-size Century and Regal to the amazing front-wheel drive Skylark. And by Lowenbrau, when you want the taste of a truly great American beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. And as it was, November 20th, 1978, the Houston Oilers and the Miami Dolphins go at it once again. You're looking at the standings in the AFC Central Division. The Pittsburgh Steelers on top with an 8-2 mark. A victory yesterday over Washington. Cleveland in second place. But Houston can draw into a tie with Cleveland to remain a game behind Pittsburgh in the Central Division with a win tonight. And let's take a look at the AFC East. New England Patriots on top, 7-3. They beat Buffalo yesterday. Miami is 6-3. They need a win tonight, and they will be abreast of the New England Patriots, heading for a November 29th showdown you'll see on a special telecast here on ABC on Thursday night. We're almost ready for the kickoff, and it is a beautiful night for football in Miami. It's been raining the past 2 days. It's cleared up, temperature 78 degrees. You're looking at a spectacular shot of a full moon that hovers over Miami, and we'll have the kickoff, the Oilers and the Dolphins, in just a moment.
What comes out of a loudspeaker is only as impressive as what goes into it. Pioneer's HPM speakers have a unique super tweeter that breathes to produce incredible highs. Its driver delivers remarkably crisp mid-range. Its bass you not only hear, but feel. So instead of sounding great on part of the music, HPM speakers sound great on all of it. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Planet Earth stretches 25,000 miles at its midsection. Giant oceans separate vast land masses. Rugged mountain barriers reach beyond the clouds. Yet here is a world of 4 billion people who move from city to city faster than the wind. Boeing is pleased to play a role in making this world just a little smaller.
in such a big world.
See! All the places and the faces.
Feel! All the loving and the laughter.
Bring us together. And you'll see the world feels a whole lot better when the people of the world all get together.
Boeing jetliners have done more to jet the world together than anything ever made by man.
The world feels a whole lot better when we all get together.
Live from the Orange Bowl, Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith. We quite frankly are not expecting the game we saw last year. If we get it, it will be one thrilling football game. Bob Greasy, who, well, they say he rediscovered himself last week against Green Bay. He had a marvelous day against the Packers. Actually, he was playing hurt in the previous few weeks, and a lot of folks were writing him off. He is not to be written off. Dan Pastorini, suffering with a sore arm through all of the preseason, and really is still bothered by a sore right arm. Occasionally, he can be brilliant. He can be average on a given day. And the Houston Oilers have won the toss. Deep is number 85, Richard Ellender, a rookie out of McNeese State. He's back there with another rookie from University of Southern California. That's Carter Hartwig, number 36. And setting the ball to kick off, Uwe von Schamann. Uwe von Schamann, who replaced Garo Yepremian, a great name of the Miami Dolphins past. A very talented rookie out of the University of Oklahoma. We're underway. It's a high kick. And it's taken on the left side by Carter Hartwig, and Hartwig finds his running room out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Will meet the offense. Dan Pastorini at quarterback, number 7. He's in there with Earl Campbell, who has been troubled with a deep thigh bruise. We'll talk more about that. The wide receivers, one of the great ones out on the left side. He wears double O. He's dangerous from anywhere on the field. Rich Castor coming out of an injury situation. He, too, is capable and ready to go tonight. The offensive line, as the Houston Oilers have their first offensive set from their own 27-yard line. Tim Wilson, number 45, there with Earl Campbell. He's the big blocking back for Campbell, and Campbell is met as he moves over the 30-yard line for a gain of about 3. It'll be second down and 7 as we look at the number 1 defensive unit in the entire NFL against the rush. Vern Den Herter, Bob Baumauer in the middle, Doug Betters, who quite frankly has beaten out A.J. Dewey on the right side. Those are your linebackers. They're superb linebackers if you've been watching. And there is your secondary. While the game is being held up, it is the tight end Mike Barber, number 86, who is down on the field. He's had a knee problem in his career, a spectacular young career. And we'll be back with more information in a moment.
Buick proudly announces some very fine cars and some very good thinking.
This is the 1980 Century Limited sedan. My sister thinks it's very sophisticated. My dad thinks it's economical. My mother thinks it's roomy.
I think I'm lucky to have it tonight.
This is the limited edition Regal Somerset. I think it's elegant proof that a truly sensible car doesn't have to be boring. Boring. Boring.
This is the Buick Riviera, an automobile so incredible that people who could seriously think about buying almost any car in the world are driving Rivieras.
This is the 1980 Buick Skyhawk. 4-speed, V6 engine. I think it's really me. And she thinks... she'll get used to it.
Do you think that owning a 1980 Buick might be a good idea? Good thinking.
Saturday doubleheader action. First Syracuse Navy, Florida, Georgia, plus other games. Then highly ranked USC against Washington in a showdown for the Rose Bowl and more. Check local listings.
Mike Barber is still down. Action is not resumed. You're looking at Bob Greasy, and Bob's taken a lot of heat from the fans. I asked Don Shula if he's gone back that much to deserve it.
Well, we've struggled offensively, and the quarterback has been a part of our struggle. Bob's had some injury problems. He's healthy now. He had a great game last week.
Can he be as good as he ever was?
Well, last week he was on the money the entire ball game. The Houston defense is a much better defense than Green Bay's defense was, and it'll be a bigger test, but I'm confident Bob can do the job.
Bob Greasy had a 287-yard day against Green Bay a week ago. Second down and 7. The Oilers have the football. The ball at the 31-yard line. Conrad Rucker, 87, is the tight end that has replaced Mike Barber. You saw the motion. And our referee tonight is Fred Wyatt. He will be delivering the calls from the field.
And Morristown's got a little anxious there.
Procedure call, right side. Number 76, it appeared to be Morris Towns. The right tackle for the Oilers. We have a breakup. The ball is brought back to the 26-yard line. The down remains the same. It'll be second down and 12. A preliminary report. Mike Barber has a knee sprain. Quick count. Pastorini dumps it off to Campbell. Single man screen. Campbell tripped up. Good defensive play. Number 51, the leading tackler for the Dolphins, Rusty Chambers, and they do have fine linebackers. There he is. And outside of Rusty Chambers is Larry Gordon, a superb linebacker. Beaucamper, the other one, could play the down position. Third down, about 18.
This time it was Dan Herder, unless there was inducement.
I believe again it will be inducement. It could again be against Towns.
Well, the huge one from Missouri is not off to a happy start.
76 is Towns.
Something we haven't had a chance to mention, Frank, but there's a pretty good wind tonight. And when the Oilers chose to receive the ball, they gave up that win. So this first series of downs is not going to give that punter a very good position. Looks like Miami's going to wind up with good field position if they don't get a good game here.
It swirls in the Orange Bowl, but it will be working against Houston. On third down, long yardage. Handoff, draw play. It goes to Tim Wilson. Wilson, short of the original line of scrimmage at the 23-yard line, and we will see the Houston punting team come onto the field. Cliff Parsley will have the pressure on him. As Don has mentioned, a brisk breeze blowing. Tony Nathan will drop deep for Miami.
Remember, Frank has told you that the Miami defense has been about as good as there is in the National Football League. He mentioned the linebackers. We'll get to them later because they reflect the super specialization of defense that Arnsparger began here as Shula's assistant.
Those stats on Nathan, the best in the NFL after 9 games. Beautiful kick by Parsley. Nathan, no fair catch at the 30, and he is down quickly, hustling down there to make the stop was the rookie from SC, Carter Hartwig. And now the Miami Dolphins have possession. They have good field position. They have a breeze behind them. Reese, of course, at quarterback, coming off a big game and a 27-7 win over Green Bay last week. The running backs will develop it later, but they have problems there. The big man, Larry Zonka, in his 11th year, is a steady one. They've lost Dell Williams, who's not going to be playing for several weeks. The offensive line also a key spot, the center. Jim Langer, an all-pro, is out of there at center. Mark Denard, a rookie, and in fact, working against the great Curly Pope, the nose guard for the Houston Oilers. 1st and 10 Miami, the ball at the 31-yard line. Handoff is to Gary Davis, who is replacing Dell Williams. He hits the line of scrimmage, gets a yard, maybe it'll be second down and 9. And let's take a look at the defensive unit. And behind Alvin Bethea, they'll bring in a man named Jesse Baker, who leads the NFL in quarterback sacks. He wears 75. As you look at another fine set of linebackers, one of the best in the game, Robert Brazil, number 52. The leading interceptor in the NFL is Mike Reinfeldt. He has 9. He wears number 37. Second down and 9. The ball at the 32-yard line for Miami. Nat Moore split to the right. The dangerous number 89 for the Dolphins. Duriel Harris off a big 10-reception day of Green Bay, split to the left. Man open over the middle, and it's a setback. Gary Davis short of the first down as he moves out to the 38-yard line, where it will be third and a long 2. Darrell Hunt in on the stop for Houston.
Mike Barber has a sprained knee. As you look at Don Shula, always an active part of the game, even though coaching from the sidelines. Barber probably out for the rest of the night. We may see a lot of 3 wide receivers.
Giesler comes in, short yardage for Miami. 2 tight ends, Ronnie Lee, a rookie from Baylor, and Bruce Hardy, number 84. That's their short yardage set. The big man is Zonka, number 39. But the call goes to Gary Davis. Good defensive play. Beautiful play, and the man there is Greg Bingham, number 54. We mentioned the linebackers of Miami. Well, Houston's linebackers do not have to take a back seat to the Miami corps.
No, they don't. If Houston has a defensive problem, it'll be in the defensive secondary.
But secondary has been helped a great deal. They are second in quarterback sacks, this Houston Oiler defensive unit. There's Ellender, number 85. He's the rookie out of McNeese State, George Roberts. He does the punting, and he does it southpaw style. Beautiful kick, using the wind, driving Ellender inside his 10. And Ellender whips it back out to the 18-yard line, 48-yard punt. Don Veselu hustling down there for Miami to make the stop. Beautiful punt by George Roberts. We'll be back in the Orange Bowl in a moment.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where you been? Well, it wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Here, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you've got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
At the 1904 World's Fair, Harvey Firestone received a gold medal for his tire. But to Harvey, the real proof that he was building a good tire was people were buying it. Just about every car on the fairground was riding on Firestone. Today, the Firestone 721 is being proved the same way. American drivers have bought over 20 million 721s. You know, Harvey always said, give people a good product, and they'll buy it.
Tuesday, Jennifer poses as a lady of the night to help Jonathan bait a killer on Heart to Heart.
There's Bum Phillips, the colorful coach of Houston. Got the nickname from his sister, who couldn't pronounce his name. He's accepted it as long as people don't say you bum you. Very underrated coach. Knows what he's about.
Houston, second possession, inside their own 19-yard line. Quick toss, Wilson. Campbell following Wilson around to the left side, and Campbell finds a little bit of a gap, moves out close to the 24-yard line.
One of those examples, Frank, where that hole, the play that was called straight handoff, there was nobody there, and this is one of the few guys who really even will try to go that bounce out and go to the outside and find another hole. He's been hampered in the last 3 weeks by a deep thigh bruise, so it's kind of interesting to see how he'll respond tonight.
Ball just over the 23-yard line, second down and 5. Pastorini changing it off at the line of scrimmage. Wilson, and Wilson moves over the 25 to the 26. Piled up there defensively by the right side of the Dolphins line. Baumauer was there, Rusty Chambers.
Jeff's my brother, huh?
Third down, less than 3. The ball at the 26-yard line.
It's my father.
That's right.
Ernest Groan comes in defensively for Miami, number 55 in their short yardage set. Castor is flipped to the right, Ken Burrow to the left. Wilson gets the call, moves to the outside, right it off to Rusty Chambers again. And we still are waiting for the first down. And keep in mind what an offensive explosion we had a year ago when these two teams met. Greasy was 23 of 33 in that game, 350 yards. Campbell rushed for 199 yards. And we are waiting for our first down.
But you can see these two teams are up. The crowd has them excited, especially the Dolphins. And so there's an active pace to the game.
Nathan, a rookie out of Alabama, great all-around athlete. He leads the league with those stats. Had an 86-yard touchdown against Buffalo earlier in the year. Cliff Parsley, who was able to riffle a good punt on his first attempt against this win, has it go off the side of his foot. It's a Cephalo, and the Cephalo takes a chance in midfield and gets the Dolphin in good field position at the 41-yard line. 24-yard punt and heads-up play by Jimmy Cephalo. Miami will have good field position. They'll have a breeze behind their backs. We'll return in a moment.
Typing will never be the same again. Introducing the new IBM Electronic 75 typewriter. It really works for you. Automatically it underlines and centers. Its memory stores 7,500 characters. Want to change a sentence right in the middle? You type the change. The new IBM Electronic 75 typewriter. And if you make a mistake, this typewriter erases it.
What do I get my girl for her birthday to make a big hit on a small budget?
A Timex that looks like $1 million but won't cost it.
What,
do you get a wife for your anniversary who loves great music?
A Timex Electric, Henny. It keeps the beat without winding.
What do I get my husband, the salesman, so he won't oversleep in Kalamazoo?
A portable Timex mini alarm. It'll wake him anywhere. Timex has over 200 watches for any occasion. Timex, the up-to-the-minute gift.
A few moments ago, Cliff Parsley was punting. We described Tony Nathan, the deep man for Miami, as being a gifted athlete. So is their up man, number 81. This is Jimmy Cephalo, who took the risk at midfield and got the ball back to the 41-yard line.
Venturesome play by a venturesome player. One of Joe Paterno's stars from one of Joe's better Penn State teams. All of them are good. But
he could have used him day before yesterday, couldn't he, down here?
Losing to Miami 26-10, he could have.
Single setback, Gary Davis. Two tight ends are in there. Bruce Hardy, 84. Ronnie Lee, the rookie from Baylor, number 86. Toss, Gary Davis. Turns it to the inside, gets inside the 40, close to the 38-yard line for a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Robert Brazil knifing in there defensively for Houston.
With this wind, and with the wind favoring Miami at this point, I would think Bob would put the ball in the air quickly, Don.
I think so. I think he should really try to pick up two scores this first quarter, because it is very tough. It's coming right behind him. You can see right there. Frank mentioned it swirls a little bit, but right now, anyway, it's right behind Miami's offense.
Nat Moore split to the left on 2nd and 8. The two setbacks back in the ball game. Zonka 39, Davis 27. This is Davis. And a nifty move, and Davis has the first down and much more to the 25-yard line. That's Gary Davis filling in nicely for an injured Dell Williams.
That's what we said, Don. Put it in the air.
Well, get it down there and get some scores is mainly what they really need. Gary Davis is out of Cal Poly up in San Luis Obispo. We saw him play a couple of years ago. He was drafted by Beathard, I think.
Yes, he was. He's a Bobby Beathard product.
He's got those kind of moves that quick feet, they call him. Quick feet. Hard to knock him off. First down, Miami.
They got him in the 6th round. And they need him tonight desperately. Dell Williams will be out for several weeks with cracked ribs. He was their 1,000-yard gainer of a year ago. So 1st and 10 at the 25. Zonk gets it inside, and he runs into Ted Washington. Down he goes. Give him a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Zonk, incredibly, comes into this contest with more than 500 yards gained. His dream to have another 1,000-yard year. It's been an incredible season for him thus far, when so many had considered him washed up, and the Giants made it clear they no longer wanted him.
3,000-yard seasons for the Dolphins for the Zonka in 71, 72, and 73. 2nd down and 8. Reese. Gary Davis, yes. Beautiful one-handed grab at the 16-yard line. Robert Brazil defending a beautifully thrown ball and a great catch.
I think it was more of a great catch than a thrown ball, but you got to have all of them. It was a little bit high and outside. Bobby gets it out. You see it float a little bit. It's a little high. That's just a heck of a catch. Man, what a catch. Son.
A yard short of a first down.
This can make injured backs get well in a hurry.
Less than a yard. The ball inside the 16. They must get to the 15.
I think Dell Williams, though, is kind of in a class by himself.
A great player.
Yeah.
3rd and short. A few moments ago, they gave it to Davis. They had the punt. This time they give it to Zonka. He has the first down. Inside the 15.
There's the man. You can't say enough about him.
He really has done it good. He's got 12 rookies on his club this year, which is a fairly high number for any ball club, but they're trying to make that transition as gracefully as possible. They've got some guys that have got some age on them, particularly in offensive line.
That's the story.
But, you know, Frank and I were talking this afternoon. You got Zonka, who's an 11-year vet, and you got Davis running back as a 4-year vet. Outside of that, the rest of the guys they got tonight are all rookies. That's Tony Nathan, Steve Howell, and Bob Torres.
Somehow, Shula makes it work. Remember a few years back when he had the two young linemen, Baumgartner and Dewey, who now Betters has beaten out, as Frank said. First down for Miami. And Shula somehow holds them together and makes it work.
I think a good example of that, Howard, you know, he's got Mark Denard, the center there. Well, Kuchenberg can also play center. They're trying to move it around. They're a little thin in that offensive line.
Well, he knows this will be Jim Langer's last year. He's a free agent. He wants to move back to Minnesota, and if he can play any longer, and Langer, one of the great ones of his time, he's going to play in Minnesota. So he's got to get Denard developed.
But it is a risk because Denard in the middle of that line, 63, is against Curly Pope, one of the best in the game. On 1st and 10, Greasy back. Fires incomplete, intended for his tight end, Bruce Hardy.
I've been trying to watch him, Frank, because Denard actually, I've been watching him on the Cup hasn't really been in on the. Let's see, we got to look at it right now. So Denard snaps that ball, always puts the center in a little bit of disadvantage. That's Curly, number 78. And Denard there's the middle right there, 63. A little neutralized at the beginning, but look at him keep that good balance.
Did a good job, didn't he?
Good block that time.
Tell you a little bit about him. He came up a year ago as a 10th round draft pick, broke his wrist in training camp, did not play last season. Has not played that much this year, so he is getting quite an initiation.
Hullabaloo, connect. Good old Texas Aggie.
2nd and 10. And Davis. And Davis is met right at the line of scrimmage, and down he goes.
I find when I watch these 3-4 defensive sets, because when I played, there were very few of them. It's very fascinating to me because I say, how the heck can they defense against the run? And to watch these two defenses play, and it's very easy because those linebackers do have the size and agility to come in there, step down, and play that defensive down lineman.
You want to defense the run with a 34 defense? Study the Denver Broncos.
We're in a 4-3 now as Kennard is in there defensively for the Oilers on 3rd and 10.
I think they can get that better pass rush. They're bringing a linebacker.
Greasy steps into the pocket and fires for Hardy, incomplete. Good defensive play by Vernon Perry, the rookie in the NFL, but a 3-year veteran of Canadian Football League play with Montreal, where he was a superb defensive back.
You're exactly right, but at the same time, in taking nothing away from Hardy, who's been very good at his job this year, Miami really misses Andre Tillman, the huge tight end with the long arms, who can make a bad pass look good with his catches. He, of course, broke a leg early on. He's out for the year.
Von Schaumann.
This guy can kick.
32-yard attempt. Good, and Miami's on the scoreboard first with 4:55 remaining in the first quarter. Uwe von Schaumann, a rookie 7th-round draft pick from Oklahoma. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, somebody's buying this car. I want them to buy a good car just like I want a good car.
Frank Senendak, Lordstown Assembly Line. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
This is my engine. I feel like I almost have to put my name on top of that motor. I'm checking to make sure that this motor goes out as a good job. We'll even kid over it a lot of times, you know. Say, dummy, come down here, look, you missed this. Now I got it covered for you, and I want a good motor leaving the line, because it's a reflection on all of us. People have matured. They really understand the word pride, what it really means, because they've seen it, you know, what it does. I work my 40 hours on the line at Lordstown. I come home, I'm not tired. I don't have to worry about the next day or the payment I have to make. I'm glad I'm here.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
And we'll be in Dallas for that one next Monday night. Wilbur Montgomery with a whale of a day yesterday in a losing effort, 197 yards, I believe. We'll see that at halftime, as is our custom, as we bring you highlights from yesterday's play.
With Tigliano's Browns just came back and nipped them right there at the last. We'd had a game for the first place down there in Dallas. There we go.
Von Schaumann hits it. This is Richard Ellender, the rookie from McNeese State. And Ellender looks for the gap, doesn't find it, gets out to the 27-yard line.
Good blocks that time. Those guys laid them out pretty well.
We're getting back to that Dallas team. They had a difficult, as you look at Larry Zonka, had a difficult time yesterday against the Giants, who've been simply astonishing with young Sims. But they were coming off a physical beating from the mighty Pittsburgh Steelers. And you can bet there'll be a different team against Philadelphia.
Quick count, Pastorini at the 27-yard line. Wilson gets to the 30, to the 31-yard line. Give him 3, it'll be 2nd down and 7. Tim Wilson, 6'3", 220-pounder. His main role is that of paving the way for Earl Campbell. But Earl Campbell, although we've been told he is healthy, has really been hurting for the past 3 weeks with a deep thigh bruise.
Well, let me tell you, this guy can hit, Tim Wilson. He can carry the football, too, even though he's used primarily as a lead blocker.
Second down, long 7. And off Earl Campbell. Campbell is met and piled up at the line of scrimmage and surges forward for a pickup of a couple. Herndon Herder there first, then Bob Baumauer closed it down. It'll be 3rd and 3.
I had a long talk with Pastorini before the game, Frank, and he said that he was going to move his setbacks up. This was part of their game plan, more closely to himself, keep them posted behind the guards, and run in the hope of getting them up to and through the line of scrimmage more quickly. So far, he's trying to do that, but not too successful.
Yeah, I'd say I might have changed my plans after a while.
Castor splits out to the left. Kenny Burrow, bottom of your screen, double O. Pastorini stays on the ground, gives the ball to Campbell. He's close to a first down.
Hey, that's a good tackle. Who is that came up there and hit? My golly. Secondary man. Down at the bottom of that pile, son. Get up if you can.
Tim Foley.
Tim Foley. What a veteran player that is, out of Purdue, with the 2 Super Bowl teams. He joined them when we started Monday Night Football, Don.
Well, watch him come up, 194 pounds, but here's Earl Campbell. We're looking at it from back behind, but watch Foley come up to the outside, right through there. Number 25, some of your basic reckless abandon. Throw your head in there about waist high. Campbell, got to be a little weird to do that.
He's giving away about 40 pounds. We're going to get a measurement, but Campbell gets the first down. Houston's first down of the ball game. 3:06 remaining in the first quarter.
Miami runs a fairly coordinated defense, and they rely on the back like Foley to come in and plug those holes. They've got the linebackers doing the same thing, trying to plug the holes inside that 3-man line. That last time we had a 4-man defensive line, but Foley came up, covered out that inside little zone, knocked them off.
The ball is at the 38-yard line of the Oilers. They're down 3-0. Castor in motion, handoff Earl Campbell. Wilson out in front with a fine block, and Campbell gets yardage up to the 45-yard line. Doug Betters over there in pursuit defensively. But again, Wilson leading the play, and Wilson is covering one of the Miami Dolphin setbacks.
That stat from last week is evidence of what Frank's been telling you, that Campbell has been subpar physically. However, he does look better tonight. You give him the opportunity to turn that corner or to cut back between tackle and end. Goodbye.
Last year's leading rusher in the NFL picks up 8 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Wilson gets the call. He's close to a first down. It will defend a market. He might be short by a foot.
It's also a pretty good example of why Doug Betters is playing ahead of A.J. Dewey, because Betters and Baumauer both closed up that middle pretty well that time.
Nope, we will not get the measurement. 3rd down, less than a yard. Bum says, I'd like to see it if you don't mind. But also give him an opportunity to give it a little deeper thought. Rob Carpenter comes in, number 26. He was superb against the Jets in overtime a week ago. Earl Campbell, single setback, the logical candidate. Campbell has the first down. Gets into Dolphin territory, out of bounds, close to the 45, and Campbell on a 3rd and short yardage. Well, Howard, you and I saw him a year ago. They gave it to him 3rd and short, and he went on an 81-yard touchdown, John.
Now, we've talked about Earl's physical condition. Before the game, I asked him if he was 100% fit.
Yes, sir. I kind of caught a bruised thigh, you know, in the, I think, Baltimore game that helped me out the Seattle game. And last week, you know, I kind of tightened up after we supposedly had beaten the Jets. But this week, I'm 100%. I feel very good, and I'm looking forward to playing against a very good defensive football team.
On 1st and 10, handoff. No, good fake, and it's handed off to Castro on a reverse, and Castro's close to a first down.
Nice play, nice play.
Richard loves that play. They used to use it with him all the time when he was with the Jets. Those legs of his, he's got an antelope stride.
But it's a good fake that started. You see, they're going to obviously, I'd key on Campbell. They didn't take it too well, though, as a matter of fact. That's just a good cutback block there on Betters. Rich Castor.
And he gets the first down. Boobie Clark comes in for Earl Campbell, acquired from Cincinnati. And Campbell is on the bench. Boobie Clark wears number 42. But Pastorini looks to the air. Goes to Rob Carpenter. Carpenter has the football. Not much doing in the yardage area.
Got a little pressure by Camper back there that time, Frank. Pastorini, I think he was set up as almost like a screen pass because it looked to me as deep receivers weren't really running full routes. He was going to go out to the outside anyway.
You throw it under that kind of pressure from a guy like Camper, you run the risk of an intercept that can cost a touchdown. It didn't happen there. Camper with that magnificent build, himself a first-round draft choice, cutting the mold of Ted Hendricks.
Second down and 8, and I know that Dan Pastorini is thinking in terms of the wind. If he can expire the quarter, with 1:05 remaining, he'll have the wind at his back and a much better potential for field goal. On second and 8, Carpenter gets the call, gets to the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and 5. Bob Carpenter, who was a key factor in Houston's overtime win against the Jets about a week ago.
Why would they hurry it up, Frank, when it's going to be a third down and they're not going to be able to kick into the wind? I don't understand this one.
I don't understand that myself because they are definitely working against the wind. Third and 5. Quick toss. Ooh, and a smash. But Conrad Rucker holds on. Short of the first down. Foley came up with the football.
Yeah, he threw it away in disgust.
Well,
but I'll tell you, those linebackers Frank mentioned are terrific. Let's look at this again. The prior play, the tackle was made by Ernie Rome.
Well, it's just a quick little
Norris Thomas
slip out pass there.
The left cornerback. And time has expired here in the fourth quarter. And it looks like with the field being reversed, the wind behind the Oilers, we might possibly see a field goal unit. But right now, that is the end of the first quarter. We'll be back in a moment.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmate's available from about $45.
Here's to good friends.
A toast. Here's to a vanishing breed. Bill Evans, bachelor.
End of a perfectly good ladies' man.
To Bill Evans, a free man. 13 more hours.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brow.
Speech! Speech!
Come on, you guys.
You're beautiful.
Do you know me? I won the Triple Crown, but people still think of me as a kid. So I got the American Express card. I travel a lot, and it beats most cards at keeping track of business expenses, because the signed receipts usually come back with a bill. Besides, with the card, people look up to me, and not just when I'm up here.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Tony French having a whale of his year. As you can see, he's won 2 games in overtime. He won last week against the Jets. The one he missed was a 31-yarder against the Jets. He is perfect outside the 40-yard line. 6 for 6. The holder is Gifford Nielsen, a quarterback. This will be a 46-yard attempt. A little breeze behind French. A lot of distance. And a lot of accuracy.
Oh, boy.
46-yard field goal. Tony Fritz ties it up at 3.
Okay, that's it. Tony Fritz, a great place kicker. Frank has mentioned that Pastorini has had his troubles this year. We sought to find out exactly what was wrong before the game. And you missed virtually all of the preseason, tough going in the early going during the regular season. True or not true? Did you have a severe viral infection that was shrouded from the public?
Yes, it was, Howard. I had a viral infection of the nerve going to the serratus muscle in my arm, and it allowed very limited throwing in the off-season and a tough go in training camp, and kind of got me off to a slow start this year, but fortunately it's come along very well in the latter part of the going.
So that's an interesting revelation, Mr. Gifford.
What does that mean? I mean, what, is that I really don't know. What viral infection?
That affected the muscle up in the upper arm and into the shoulder. Then he went to a kinesiologist in Atlanta that Fran Tarkenton recommended. Now he's coming back. Frank.
Tony Nathan in the end zone. He'll remain there. Touchback. Tony Fritsch has tied it up for the Houston Oilers. And now Miami will be working against the wind. There's Tony. Had a few years at Dallas, a year at San Diego, and has been quite a smashing success for the Houston Oilers.
Well, at Dallas, quite frankly, Don, you know, they have a kicking scout named Bob Catt.
Yep.
And he believed in Tony, but a member of the Dallas coaching staff didn't like sidewinders. And yet this guy has turned out to be one of the most consistent men in the business.
Well, they had a couple other problems, I think, besides just not liking sidewinders. They've tried a couple since then. But Tony, I think, is happy there in Houston. It all worked out well. And Raphael is, of course, there in Dallas now.
Bob Greasy brings the Dolphins up at the 20-yard line. Puts Nathmore to the left and leaves the football behind. A mad scramble. And I believe a Dolphin covered.
That sure is lucky if he did. And he got a...
Greasy at the bottom with the football. And Bingaman says, I should have had it.
First place you're going to look, of course, is that rookie center in there. You can never know if that's really his problem, but I know from a little bit of past experience, you do build up a familiarity with the center, and of course, Langer had been here for an awfully long time, and I don't think they've had that much time to work together.
Another thing that Mark Denard at center has to do is call that defense for the entire offensive line. He sees it from the middle. Second down, there was a loss of a yard and a half. Call it 2nd and 12, and this is Gary Davis, right side. Gets a block, and he's upended. He is popped there defensively for the Houston Oilers, and coming up quickly was J.C. Wilson.
J.C. Wilson.
And playing tough defense tonight, Houston is. Much better than they've played in recent games.
See Denard snap the ball, come back, and block Curly Cup. They're trying to hit that little slot right there in the middle. They've got it pretty well cleared out, except for one fellow, number 33, J.C. Wilson, who stood his ground.
Not bad defensively either. J.C. Wilson with 5 interceptions. The Oilers have 20 interceptions. Third down, 10. Gary Davis is in there now with 22, Tony Nathan. And this is Tony Nathan. And Nathan driven out of bounds, short of the first down. Close to the 28-yard line. Willie Alexander there defensively for the Oilers. Tony Nathan, a rookie from Alabama. Good punt return man and a fine all-around athlete. That will bring up 4th.
I really think that's one of the most difficult passes to throw. Now, it looks really very simple, but Bob is backpedaling. He's going backwards. The back has a big arc, swinging. You have to lead him just right. It's a difficult pass. If you throw a turn in where you know where that, or a spot pass, you can sit back and plant your feet and throw right hard at one spot. But that one moving, he made a good throw. Didn't pick up a first, but it was a good throw.
George Roberts will fight the wind. He does it. Hangs it high. Ellender calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 33-yard line. So, Houston will have the football. Good field position. A breeze behind Dan Pastorini's back, and we'll be back in a moment.
The last few years, I've bought luxury cars. The boys at the club said, fine car, Fred. The boys at home said, dumb car, Dad. Gas guzzle. My own kids. So, I got Buick's new 4.1-liter Electra. Lots of luxury, even standard air conditioning. A Buick Electra with this big, efficient V6 engine. Boys at the club are still impressed, but now, so are the boys at home.
The 4.1 Electra, America's only traditional luxury car powered by a V6 engine.
I love football, and I love relaxing. Because for me, relaxing always includes Skoal, the smokeless tobacco. Just a pinch between my cheek and gum gives me great tobacco taste without lighting up. Got the sea, the breeze, got my Skoal, Nothing's gonna make me move. Think I'll play some touch. Skull, brother.
Try going smokeless. A pinch is all it takes.
Saturday doubleheader action. First Syracuse Navy, Florida, Georgia, plus other games. Then highly ranked USC against Washington in a showdown for the Rose Bowl and more. Check local listings.
And a look at the other games you will be seeing as part of the regional coverage preceding the doubleheader.
Well, I may go to the F&N Lebanon Valley game and join Don for dinner at his place in Pennsylvania Dutch country.
Not a bad idea.
First and 10, the Oilers. The ball at their 33-yard line. Earl Campbell is the single setback. Handoff to Campbell. Campbell over the 35. Close to the 36 for a gain of 2. Giving 3, it'll be 2nd and 7. Baumauer and Vern Den Herter defensively there for Miami. Those games you saw a moment ago that Howard wants to see with Don, one of them, of course, will be the first part of our doubleheader on Saturday.
They're playing this thing a little close to the vest tonight, both teams. They're not really opening up too much.
A.J. Dewey in there defensively, 77 for betters at right in the 3-4 of Miami. 2nd down and 8.
That's it. Now open it up.
Pastorini, Ken Burrow, first down. He's in the arms of Small, but he has the first down at the 40-yard line.
I think you got to do it. And you get that wind behind you, let it go.
The perennial leading receiver for the Oilers is Ken Burrow. He's caught his 24th of the season right here.
Very good pass pattern. He did a little quick fake to Campbell. Old Kenny says, I'm not going to go down right yet. Not really too much fancy by Ken. He's just hitting the spot in there. They had 4 receivers out. And he hit that middle zone over the middle linebacker, and he found him.
Houston has the football inside the 40-yard line of Miami. Earl Campbell. Looking for a gap. He finds it, lowers his head, accelerates, and he picks up a quick 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
On that last pass completion, you fans at home saw an interesting matchup. Kenny Burrow against Gerald Small in the manner of Louis Wright against Wes Chandler yesterday. Small, an exceptional cornerback.
At wide receiver now for Houston, number 82, Mike Renfro. He's been in there for a couple of plays. Clip to the top of your screen. Second-year man out of TCU. Son of a great Cleveland Brown, Ray Renfro.
Yeah, real buddy of mine. He coached at the Cowboys. I remember when Mike was just a little toe-headed kid running around training camp.
Pastorini on 2nd down, and he fires intended for Castor, incomplete. Defensively, Tim Foley involved in that play, and that ball was almost picked off. It was Reggie Conrad Rucker, the tight end downfield.
I think there might even been a mix-up here somewhere. It looked like me they were going in different directions. They just threw that one up there. That one should have been intercepted. Looked like to me he had 3 Dolphins and 1 Oiler. Mike Renfro was knocked down on the right side. Earl Campbell missed a block in the middle. Didn't really work real well.
Steve Toll had him covered from the front. Foley came in and should have picked it off.
3rd and 4. Pastorini, and you saw that. I think he just did that on his own. He's going to be short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and about a yard. Maybe we can roll that back and get a replay of it. You can see that Pastorini was thinking sneak all the way.
One of those little quick taps. Just keep tapping me on the side and let's go. Nobody else moved. You're probably right, Frank, but look at those linebackers converge in the middle there. You didn't catch them all too much.
And there's a trim-looking lad who trots onto the field with his football togs on.
I remember a story told about him when he was at Dallas. They were playing Washington. It was a crucial field goal right to the last, and one of the Redskins was hollering at him, calling him all sorts of names, and Dave Edwards says, he won't do any good. He doesn't understand English.
48-yard attempt.
Missed it.
Wide to the left. And the ball will go over to Miami at the line of scrimmage. They will have the ball at their own 32-yard line. Tony talking to Gifford. They'll talk more on the sidelines, and we'll be back.
I think the Die Hard was probably designed with Anchorage in mind.
Yeah, we depend on the Die Hard. The Die Hard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
Turn the key over and it goes, run.
And now, from Sears, the people who bring you the Die Hard battery, comes the Muzzler, the aluminized muffler from Sears. Muzzler. The Muzzler, Only $17.99 at Sears.
Bruce Jenner for the Minolta XG1.
The Minolta XG1 35mm camera is so automatic, I can keep taking pictures while my friend Bill rides his bike from shadow to sunlight. The XG1 changes the exposure, not just automatically, but continuously. Minolta's continuous automatic exposure system helps give you the pictures you never thought you could take at a price you never thought you could afford. The Minolta XG1, the automatic choice in automatic cameras.
Saturday, they're all falling for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders on a special 2-hour love boat.
10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. This football game tied up. Houston, they need a win tonight over Miami to stay one game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, tied with the Cleveland Browns. Miami can move to a tie with New England in their division with a win tonight. First and 10. The Dolphins have the football at the 32-yard line. That was the line of scrimmage. And the missed field goal. Greasy to the air.
Oh, boy.
Got it away.
You bet.
And the blitz was on. Darrell Hunt, the rookie from Oklahoma, filling in there at linebacker for an injured Art Stringert.
Frank, it's one of those delayed blitzes where you don't really come right at the beginning and you let those offensive linemen set. They get set who they're going to block. And Hunt delayed a little bit, picked him a path, and I really think he bothered Bob a great deal. He didn't deflect a pass. One of the defensive linemen did. Did you see who it was, Howard?
No, I didn't see who deflected it, but as I told you during the break, we were going to see Bob start to mix it up a little and start to throw some more, and Houston did anticipate that.
Houston in a 4-3 defense. Greasy on target. Gary Davis short of the first down, out to the 38-yard line.
You know what's interesting? That's how many times has he thrown to Gary Davis? 3 or 4. The back coming out of the backfield. He hasn't. 3. Thank you, Steve. But he has not yet thrown to Nat Moore. He's not thrown to Duriel Harris.
I think he really is concerned. Maybe I'm playing to win way too much, but I think he's concerned about it. Bob is a precision passer. He's not known as a real strong arm passer, and I think he's trying to work the zones he feels he can hit right now. And those will be the short ones.
Third down, 3. The ball at the 38-yard line. Tony Nathan in there, 22. Gary Davis, 27. Those are setbacks. Greasy gets to protection, has a receiver, and Gary Davis again, and look at him break tackles. Gary Davis, first down, 43-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Gary Davis putting on quite a show. Came in last week when Del Williams was hurt, said I wasn't really in condition to go all the way, but he looks like he's in top shape tonight.
Well, he went back to Davis again. I think you're going to see the rookie Hunt make a mistake. He's trying to come over the top right there with the wrong arm. You go over on the left, you can keep that right one back there. If you don't get it, at least get him. He let him go free, picked up a big first down.
Well, you saw a single coverage there as you look at Gary Davis. I looked that time. They're doubling Nate Moore, which makes sense. And I said Nate, and his name is either Nate or Nat Moore.
Yeah, it depends on whether you want to call him Nate or not.
Handoff is Hawkins. Anka bowls ahead at the 40-yard line. Gets a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 8.
And because they've been doubling Moore in the past, last week they took advantage of Duriel Harris, who had 10 receptions and 180 yards. Now they're doubling both men from time to time, and Gary Davis is free. One-on-one, which is free for him.
Very rarely do you get a double coverage of a back coming out of the backfield. So you can pretty well count on him being single coverage.
Nat Moore split to the right on second down and 8. Duriel Harris goes left. Greasy. And you saw the wind catch that ball. Intended for Bruce Hardy, and it just flew over the arms of Hardy.
Well, that was Vernon Perry, Frank, number 32, that came in there. And they're, of course, saying he interfered with him. We'll take a look at it again. I don't think that he did. I think he made a pretty good defensive play. Again, good position to go in from the side he was on at Hardy. Look at him going with his left arm.
Look at that ball, too.
Yeah, the ball just took off. Flew on him.
Good camera work. Third and 8. Cephalo is in, giving Miami 3 wide receivers. Duriel Harris, 82. Nat Moore, 89. Cephalo, 81. And the setbacks remain. Gary Davis, 27, and Tony Nathan, 22. Easy. Keeps his backs in. Firing deep. And intended down there deep for Duriel Harris.
Well,
back defending was Willie Alexander, and I believe he just tripped.
That's exactly what happened. The crowd is booing, looking for an interference call, but you watch. There was the chuck. No interference there at all. He just fell over. Watch. See? Tripped over his own foot.
That's true.
Running stride for stride with Willie Alexander. Crowd doesn't like it. Naturally a partisan crowd, but it produces George Roberts and the punting unit for Miami, Richard Ellender. Is standing about the 9-yard line. You can anticipate Roberts will angle for the coffin corner. He does not. Kicks it high and looks for the coverage. Fair catch, wisely called and made by Ellender just inside the 10-yard line, because Miami was down there to cover that football. We'll be back in a moment.
I learn a lot about this hotel by walking around like a guest.
Meet Carl Hurd, manager of Ramada O'Hare Inn in Chicago. He puts a lot of emphasis on people. He even lives here in his own apartment. And because this Ramada is also Carl Hurd's home, travelers find it's a nice place for them to live, too.
Nice people taking care of nice people. Ramada, all over the world.
You see this NFL poster? It's a $2 value, and I got it for only 50 cents when I bought a set of Champion spark plugs. A terrific NFL poster for only 50 cents. And look at this. Isn't that pretty? And your car can get sure starts, improved performance, and better mileage with Champion spark plugs. It was a deal I just couldn't pass up. You know, I think I'm going to do my entire house in poster. Yes.
Show your NFL team colors from your participating Champion marketer. You can't buy a better plug.
Amazing Sugar Ray Leonard, Olympic champ, now undefeated pro. This month he goes for the big one, the WBC World Welterweight Championship on ABC.
What a tremendous fight that should be. November 30th, WBC World Welterweight crown at stake. Sugar Ray Leonard against Wilfredo Benitez. Benitez, a cunning fighter, more experienced than Leonard, a brilliant counterpuncher. Remember his January 14th demolition of Carlos Palomino and San Juan earlier this year.
Single setback, Earl Campbell, number 34. Ball just inside the 10-yard line. Campbell gets the call, sees the opening on the right side, cuts back, gets out over the 14-yard line. Gain of 5, it'll be second down and 5, and he gets 5 yards so quickly, it's just hard to believe.
Crowd still unhappy over the failure to call interference, which clearly was not interference on the greasy attempt to Duriel Harris when he tripped over his own foot. Frank, as an old running back, when you were hurting, was there a greater tendency to fumble?
I don't believe so. I think maybe a tendency to cover it up a little more. You know you're not 100%. Second and 5. Campbell gets the call. Runs into Baumauer.
You see the Dolphins trying to use a couple of different defensive line sets. They went to their 3-4. That time they had 4 down linemen, but they still had a man over the center. We used to call it a Frisco defense or an overshift to the strong side. It's a good time to try to audible because you can really get all those guys blocked head up. They've got somebody right in front of us. Bob Gracie's on the sideline without glasses. Third down and a big E.
About a yard and a half. Ball at the 18-yard line. Wilson slides into a wingback spot, number 45. The motion man is Carpenter. Quick toss, Campbell. Campbell upended. Defensive play, Foley.
What a play by Timmy Foley. If we get a look at this again, this veteran is playing some game tonight.
Well, he's right up there on the corner with his wingback. That would have been his man on a pass. He beat the block, tripped up Campbell, 4th down.
Rob Carpenter really never did get out there in time. Foley did make a really good quick break across that line of scrimmage to turn it in. And Rob Carpenter just couldn't get up close enough, and he got Earl before he started.
Parsley will have a brisk breeze helping the football. Tony Nathan respecting the breeze and Parsley position all the way back on his 40-yard line.
Run this one back.
This is Nathan. And he slips, but he can get up, and he is covered immediately by Houston Oiler at the 48-yard line. Nevertheless, good field position. It was Carter Hartwig hustling down there defensively. And good field position now for Miami.
That's the key, Frank. At the same time, 2 consecutive plays, Miami's developed a new tactic, falling over your own feet.
That young rookie from Alabama there, he just got a little bit too excited. He was going to take that one back. That was one of those that really could run back because the wind hurt it down there. He could have picked that one up. All right, they've got 52 yards to go for a score. What are you going to do, Robert?
5:43 remaining in the half. Is tied at 3. Ultra conservative as compared to that 35-30 contest we had last year.
Oh, yeah.
Screen to the flanker. Nat Moore does not wait for the block of Larry Little. And he has a first down. Nifty running by Nat Moore to the 32-yard line.
Without question, one of the most exciting athletes in the league.
All right, we're going to see a good offensive move this time by the Dolphins, and they caught Houston really where they wanted him. We saw a move by the tight end right before the snap of this ball to the left side. It caused Houston defense to roll into a zone. Man-to-man coverage over here on Nat Moore, and I don't know too many folks that can do that at all. That was J.C. Wilson trying, but they picked up a big first down.
At the 32-yard line of the Oilers. Zonka and Davis to setbacks. Davis 27. Zonka a familiar 39. Davis. Down goes Davis.
2 folks watched 39 on that play. He didn't really figure in it that much, but the way he still hits in there as the lead block had done, beautiful to see.
Well, I find his whole season this year really very interesting and somewhat befuddling to me, Howard, because he did not have very good years in New York. And you say, well, how can a guy, just because he puts on a different jersey, different uniform, how does it make that much difference? But he has so much confidence in Shula. He's working behind a line that he worked behind before, so I think that had a lot to do with it. He does figure in almost every play.
2nd and 8. 4 down linemen for Houston. Their pass rushers. Jesse Baker's in there. Gary Davis bounces off. 1 tackler, Vernon Perry, and a flag is down.
Well, Bob, what do you think? Did your guys holding, or did somebody hit you?
He's worrying about holding.
Gary Davis is a nice-looking receiver coming out of that backfield, isn't he? He's got some good moves after he catches that ball, too. We saw a one-handed catch earlier. That's another good catch right there.
Larry Little complaining to the official, one of the senior citizens of the Miami Dolphins at right guard. He's obviously going to be assessed against the Dolphins.
Frank, you got Mike Curran 13 years, Little 13 years, Kuchenberg.
There it is. Holding.
Let's see who it is.
Maybe Little holding Culp. 66.
Holding number 66, offense.
That's it.
All right, we got Curly Culp, the guy we talked about earlier tonight. You see Little come out. That's legal to put that hands there at the beginning. When Culp goes around him, you see that he lost a little bit of that position, reaches over and got him by that shoulder pad and pulled him down.
Can't get that hands outside of the plane of your body. 2nd down, 18. Ball back at the 40-yard line. Greasy.
There he is.
This is Tony Nathan. And the rookie from Alabama is close to a first down. Nifty bit of running. Mike Reinfeld made the stop defensively. Greasy using his backs very wisely coming out of the backfield.
I want to tell you, there was a beautiful block thrown in there for Nathan by Duriel Harris. Not noted that much for his blocking, but he's the one who sprung Nathan. Watch this. That's the one that gave Nathan that extra yard.
You can tell Duriel's not really into blocking that much, but he did kind of.
He did it there.
He got over in the air, didn't he? Oh, boy.
Nathan's been used as a punt returner by the Dolphins primarily, as we see that he is going to be very close to a first down, about a foot short. But Nathan, as a senior at Alabama, rushed for over 700 yards himself.
Seems to me right now that the Oilers are giving them a little bit too much leeway into that middle zone where the linebackers are trying to cover. They're hitting him.
Well, Frank mentioned that 20 interceptions this year. I had said earlier And I still believe it that their secondary is porous. Reinfeldt has 8 intercepts. I really think Stemrick is their best secondary. Look at the points scored against them. Seattle 34, the Jets 24. They've been chewing them up. Sometimes statistics can be deceiving.
You saw how much they need for the first down. Third down, less than a yard.
Sometimes you can get a huge number of intercepts relatively because they keep throwing in your area.
Oftentimes that is the case.
Zonka and Davis, the setbacks for Miami in their short yardage offense with the 2 tight ends, Lee and Hardy. Zonka has the first down. They did not see a flag. There was movement on the right side, but it was on the part of Houston.
Correct.
First down, Zonka moves to the 17.
Good technique to vary your count a lot, particularly on a 3rd and short situation, because if they don't jump off sides, you saw that still that they jumped a little bit, got back, lost their momentum, and they're kind of sitting there. It gives that offensive line a chance to just push them on out of the way. They did that time. Zonka picked up 5-6 yards on the outside.
It would be a very meaningful score if Miami could hang up a touchdown against this brisk breeze. Barry Davis dropped the football.
Fumble, and Houston has got it.
Turn to Brazil. Gary Davis lost the football. Robert Brazil, as always, in the area, comes up with the recovery.
Andy Doris was the guy that hit him first, Frank, from the outside. You see number 69 come in, inside a current. Blount, he says, there it goes. Lost it from the inside with Culp, and Culp came over and fell in there and recovered by Robert Brazil.
There is one of the best that ever has played that spot.
I think you made a good point, too. We got 2 minutes, 27 seconds to the halftime. Had Miami been able to do that, particularly against the breeze, I think it would have been a very instrumental 7 points, 6, whatever.
From their 15-yard line, the Houston Oilers. Pastorini hangs it up for double-O. Kenny Burrow incomplete.
Don't understand that. The odds are not in your favor. You're just going to raise up, throw. He's the only guy out in the pattern. There's Robert Brazil on the sideline. He says, all right now, guys, come on, get a couple of first downs. Give me a break over here.
Second down, 10. Clock stop, 2:21. Still tied at 3. Pair of field goals. Thus far, the scoring tonight.
Look on Shula's face after the fumble recovery by Houston, I thought was revealing. He's reached a point of statesmanship where the resignation is there rather than anger.
Pastorini looks over the defense. It's the Frisco or the odd man line, if you will. The handoff goes to Earl Campbell, and Campbell hit again by Foley, and I don't care whether Earl says he's healthy or not. He's running very tentatively.
It sure looks that way.
Loss of a yard.
Gerald Small also came up in the 48. He and Foley closed it out pretty well. I think Earl might have been trying to look for that one block where he could make his move. He was very tentative.
And there is the 2-minute warning. Tied up at 3. Exciting crowd here in Miami, and we'll be returning to the Orange Bowl in just a moment.
At all the important times in your life, count on New York Life for the financial protection you need.
When your big day is here, New York Life got a reason to cheer. New York Life can show you the way. New York Life protects tomorrow today for all of your life. New York Life.
You know, without changing its character as a fine 6-passenger automobile, Buick did some very logical things to its new LeSabre. Compared with last year's, it's not only lighter, but these tires are designed to roll freer. It's more efficient aerodynamically. Under the hood, an economical V6 engine. I really am impressed with the logic, but frankly, I'm nuts about the looks.
Buick LeSabre. The more logical we made it, the better looking it got.
An interesting football game. Ken Campbell, we don't know. We have seen him up against the #1 rushing defense in the NFL, having a difficult night thus far, and he does not seem like the Earl Campbell, a healthy Earl Campbell that we have seen in this football game. A very meaningful game for Miami. They need a win over the Oilers to stay abreast of the New England Patriots. Houston Oilers, of course, can stay 1 game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, tied with Cleveland in their division, the AFC Central. Third down and 11. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Ball at the 14-yard line. Pastorini back and looking. And running.
He's got him a first.
And looking for a place to fall. He had no reason to until he picked up the first down. Out around the 28-yard line. Quickly, a timeout is called, and Pastorini will move over to the Houston Oiler bench. But the Oilers have a first down. Breathing room for Pastorini. 1:48 remaining in the first half, and we'll be back in just a moment.
They're off, and everyone has a chance. It's the Special Olympics, and it's a lot more than a sports event. It's the kind of competition where everyone's a winner.
All right. Hi, I'm Bob Kuchenberg of the Miami Dolphins. This is my wife, Marilyn, my sons, Brian and Eric. You know, we all love sports, but this is something very special. The Date Association for Retarded Citizens has nearly 700 children and adults who participate in the Special Olympics each year.
It's special to all the volunteers who work so hard to make this day possible. And it's very special to all the participants. Some of them train all year round for this one day, but what they learn goes far beyond sports.
They get a feeling of confidence in themselves as human beings. Here, everyone's a winner.
Thanks to the United Way, it's working in Dade County, but it's working in your town, too. Thanks to you, it's working for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement brought to you as a public service by Bob Kuchenberg of the National Football League, and more the NFL players involved in Special Olympics throughout the country. 1:48 remaining in the half. A ball at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10, the Houston Oilers. Jerry Davis fumbling the football inside the 15-yard line. Pastorini getting the first down. Hands off to Earl Campbell, and Campbell explodes out over the 30, close to the 32 for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Betters defensively for Miami, along with Steve Toll. Hurry up offense. 2nd and 6. Screen looking for Wilson. And Rusty Chambers on a nifty defensive play at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, did he read that? So beautiful.
Houston will have to use another timeout with 1:18 remaining in the first half.
He did read it well, but it was like reading with a great big block print. It wasn't set up too well. They went off on a quick count, and you saw that line move in a hurry to go out there. So they gave him a lot of clues that they were going to have a screen into that right side.
Kind of a strange second play to call in the huddle in with a hurry-up offense.
It really is, and the first one was one of your strange ones, too, in a way. I could see trying to hit a draw, but maybe that draw would be a better second play because they think you're going to throw, go ahead and drop it down to Earl, let him go. But here we are second guessing, and that doesn't really work. 3rd down, knowing a big 7, they got to have one now. They're going to kick it away.
And one of the considerations, 1 timeout remaining for the Oilers.
Big consideration.
Halftime highlights coming your way.
We got some good ones this week. Howard, what you got?
A lot of excitement. And again, we're showing, you're looking at Greasy right there.
Well, we tried all of this. Give me something new, Coach.
Yeah. Got a lot of the big plays in accordance with our new halftime pattern done.
Good.
And got some of the big games, including the Giants' sterling effort against Dallas.
Campbell single setback. Ronnie Coleman, a good receiver in the slot. 3rd down, 6. Ball at the 32-yard line of the Oilers. Pastorini chased out of the pocket. Bocamper, who is a good defensive end. Well, almost as good there as he is a linebacker. He is big, awesome, and brutal.
He is big, awesome, and brutal.
Had a fun thing that time. I don't know whether you want to see it or not, but it was had a down lineman covering the back for a screen. A.J. Dewey came in as that 4th down lineman, and on the snap of the ball, when the back goes out in the flare, he left his defensive end position, went all the way to the other side to cover that screen. Bocamper then came back to the inside. It confused their blocking.
I love Bocamper.
Miami has called timeout.
Don't blame
4th down, Houston. Houston will be kicking with the wind, but Miami feels that they can move. The Dolphins have 2 timeouts. Very active head coach Don Shula.
He is.
And a remarkable one.
He's like Frank Robinson, the Baltimore coach in the dugout, setting the outfielders on every play. He is as active a guy as you'll ever see, Shula.
Cliff Parsley has come in. He's the punter, of course. Deep for Miami, drops Tony Nathan. Fine rookie, leading the NFL in punt return average. After 9 games, had an 86-yard touchdown return against Buffalo.
Good defensive series by Miami that time. In retrospect, thinking about that, they closed them out pretty well.
You know, when Bocampa out of San Jose State reported into Biscayne College for the first time, where the Miami Dolphins trained, Shula shortly thereafter said, "This is the best athlete that has ever come to me." I mentioned that he's cut in the mold of Ted Hendricks, except that he's even bigger and stronger and just as fast.
He looks good tonight.
The clock at the scoreboard here at Miami is not official, we've been informed. It shows 1:01 remaining. There is actually 1:12 remaining in the first half.
Well, I don't know how that'll affect Dan DeRue's thinking.
Well, it'll throw it off by about.
Might affect the thinking of Bum Phillips.
11 seconds.
Who's running that clock? Parsley will punt for Houston. Tony Nathan at his own 35-yard line for Miami.
Oh,
Miami trying to block it.
Well,
Parsley gets it off. Fair catch. Called for and made by Nathan at the 34-yard line. And a flag is down. It's going to be a procedure call, and it's going to work against Houston. So Miami will have another opportunity at either the run back or the block punt.
Why don't you explain to the folks at home that that clock doesn't start, see, Frank? Now, how much time we have now?
False start, offense.
I'm not messing with that clock. I was using it before. It is not official. And we'll pick it up from our talented members of our production unit.
Well, of course, we don't want to go by that, but we're just going to call this half off when we're getting tired.
4th down, Miami. It's 10 men again at the line of scrimmage. And timeout. Now, they want to change the football.
I'm going to trick old David Carter. He says, got all that stickum all over.
That's what happens. Those running back they get their hands on that football with that stickum coming off his socks, and the center doesn't like it, the punter doesn't like it, and the quarterbacks hate it. Here they come. Parsley gets it off again. Nathan calls for the fair catch again, and he says, "Why did I do that?" He knows he's not going to get anyone back there blocking for him when they have a full-out rush on it, but he had a lot of room to at least attempt to run it back for a few yards.
I would imagine, though, Shula told him to do that. When you're going to try to block it, he says, "Look, don't take any chances. Let's fair catch it. Get the ball, and the clock stops on the fair catch. And we'll get it going again here." They got 65 yards.
It's one of those plays that you can do it, but you better not make a mistake.
That's right. It's like Danny White calling that pass on the punt the other night in Pittsburgh. It's a heck of an idea if it works.
And if it doesn't,
it's not a very good idea.
It's a heck of a bad idea.
Well, it's just one of those things that comes and goes.
A pair of timeouts for Bob Greasy to work with. The ball inside the 35-yard line. Again, this game tied at 3.
I've got movement over there by Kuchenberg.
On the left side, Bob Kuchenberg, I believe.
Or maybe Newman.
There's the call. Oilers will take it. No concern is yardage, not time.
67, false start, offense. First down.
Bob Kuchenberg over the left side. Playing a little bit hurt himself, Bob Kuchenberg. Got a very sore ankle.
Didn't play on one leg, that guy.
He would. Class on and off the field, Bob Kuchenberg. First down, 15. Greasy looking for Tony Nathan. Nathan upended as he gets to the 35-yard line. Ted Washington there defensively for Houston. And then Miami now quickly with their hurry offense. 2 plays having been called in the huddle. Scoreboard clock indicates 45 seconds remaining in the half. That's approximately right. Greasy coming with the screen. Gary Davis.
Well, we saw
tripped up, and a good open field tackle by Greg Bingham.
Same thing that Houston did, Frank, on their hurry-up offense. Second down, they go to that little screen out there.
Same results.
Yeah. But I think now, since it's third down, they're trying to let this thing run out.
They'll let it run down.
Big offensive battle of a year ago has not materialized. I would have come up with it.
Final seconds ticking off. Tony Nathan gets the handoff. And down he goes at midfield. It was Robert Brazil. Academic, the half has ended, is tied at 3. Stay with us. Halftime highlights coming your way in just a moment.
Stanley makes saws to cut any job down to size. Cross-cut saws to cut across the grain. Rip saws to cut along the grain. Compass saws for odd shapes. Coping saws for curves. For precision cuts, back saws. For metal, hack saws. Stanley saws are made with tough, tempered steel and selected hardwoods. Then packed in a protective sleeve packed with information.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
Buy any of these specially tagged saws and get up to a $1.50 rebate from Stanley.
A good quarterback does his homework on and off the field. That's probably why the three of us are all drinking light beer from Miller.
See, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
Plus, it tastes great. And you know it's important to have a command of facts like that.
It's mental discipline, really.
You're darn right. Because if you know every position, every option, every formation, you'll never get your signals crossed.
Hey, that's my beer, Terry.
Oh, no, this
yeah,
is... No, wait
well,
a minute. Wait a minute.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and
I
less.
didn't feel my label.
Tuesday on Three's Company, it's fun in the woods.
How cozy.
And games in the tent. Then Elaine's the prize when Louie and Alex battle it out to see who's King Cabby on Taxi. And Jennifer poses as a hardcore lady of the night to help Jonathan bait a killer on Heart to Hearts.
Tomorrow.
The teams are coming back out on the field, as you see, is tied. Well, a year ago, November the 20th, in one of the most exciting games we've ever had on Monday Night Football, it was also tied at halftime. Houston going on to win 35-30. Great performance by Campbell, as it was by Bob Greasy in that game, Howard.
Even now, as you look at Bob Greasy, he is still struggling, having not the best time of it in the world tonight, but the key play, of course, was Gary Davis's fumble when Miami was on its way. The fans have been on Greasy. Thus, I asked him before the game about the heat. And has it upset Bob very much? Here's Bob.
Well, Howard, first of all, I don't think anybody likes to have criticism pointed at them, but I accept it in the right way. I think fans want us to be successful. The people that follow our team want us to be successful, and we want to. And it's just their way of expressing their displeasure. You know, a lot of the criticism has been founded, and I think some of it hasn't. But I think I can accept it in the way that it was meant to be. And I think if you take it in that vein and you go on from there, I think it can help you.
That is a stylish, quality human being, Mr. Gifford.
Yeah, but after last week's game, when he had such a superb day against Green Bay, he was 18 of 27, 287 yards. And all the press gathered around, and he looked up, smiled, didn't say anything about it. I said, would somebody call a meeting?
I don't think I've ever heard it described that way, and I accept it in the way that it was intended, which that's kind of interesting.
Tony Fritsch hits it for Houston. This is Tony Nathan. And Nathan tripped up, sprawls to the 20-yard line. Defensively there, the rookie, Darrell Hunt. It's tied up at 3. And the Miami Dolphins have the football at their own 20-yard line. Gary Davis, Larry Zonka remain as setbacks. There is a Houston Oiler down on the field at the moment. Oiler down, I believe, is number 30. That's Kenny King. He's a rookie out of the University of Oklahoma. He's being treated there by the medical staff. And here is Darrell Hunt, a rookie also out of Oklahoma.
Hitting a rookie out of Alabama. Wow. Basic football position.
And King has left the field. He looks to be all right, just shaken up. Miami has the football, 1st and 10, the ball at their own 20. Working against the prevailing breeze. They had their option, of course, here in the second half. They chose to receive. Houston, of course, had the option, the goal they wish to defend. 5 receivers, Nat Moore, 89, Duriel Harris, 82. Gary Davis gets the call. Nifty bit of running as he finds a little bit of a gap and gets to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5. Remember there by Ted Washington.
Remember the key to the first half. Moving against the wind. Greasy had them down to the 15. Davis fumble. Turnover. Otherwise, it might have gone in against the wind, and you can't tell the impact that would have had against the Houston team.
2nd and 5. Harris split wide, top of your screen. Handoff, Gary Davis.
Good blocking.
And Davis has the first down. Hurdles over the 30-yard line. Defensively, Darrell Hunt in there on the stop, along with J.C. Wilson.
Look at that. The little baby's asleep, or the young one is asleep. You're right, Don. The blocking was great. Kuchenberg, 67. Ed Newman, 64 out in front. Looked like the old Green Bay attack.
They just collapsed them on the inside. They had a good block on Andy Doris that time from the very beginning, and they weren't able to come back on the outside. Ted Washington got closed off a little bit, too.
Nat Moore left. Duriel Harris right. 1st and 10. The ball just over the 30-yard line. Zonka gets the call. Finds a big hole. Running low. Weighing about 235, 37 pounds. He generates a lot of force, and he gets a quick 8 yards.
Another good example of Mike Current, the right tackle, number 71, just a straight fire-out block, straight ahead on Andy Doris. Neutralized that line of scrimmage zone there and allowed a guy like Zonka to come right on through. You see right here off the right side, Little, number 66, firing out on the linebacker. There's Current and Little. You just take that one, the three-man line, that's where the three-man line gets hurt, because they don't have that other defensive tackle right in the middle. They can double team.
Kuchenberg, by the way, is in at center. Laxo is playing left tackle. Gary Davis gets the call. He's close to a first down. Mark Denard with most of the first half at center. Bob Kuchenberg, who had worked with Denard and Langer, their all-pro center, was hurt last week. And we may see Kuchenberg moving around a great deal tonight. Now Denard comes in at center. Out comes Laxo. Kuchenberg, a very versatile athlete, moves back out to tackle. He's been in the Pro Bowl 5 times, I think. He did it mostly as a guard, and he did it last year as a tackle.
Denard had his bell rung briefly. You mentioned Mike Current, 71 on a prior play.
Right.
I want to meet a promise to Mike. At practice last night, he said, "My mom's been in the hospital 2 months, Howard. It would mean a great deal to me if you 3 wished her well."
Well, I would like to wish her well.
So would I, and so would Frank.
1st and 10, the ball at the 41-yard line. Nat Moore split to the left. Duriel Harris goes right. Tight end is 84, Bruce Hardy. Houston in their 3-4 defense. Play action by Greasy. Gets the time, looks for a receiver, a lot of coverage, and Gary Davis catches the football, and he also catches Robert Brazil. A gain of about a yard.
That's the first real thing I've seen as we see a reminder that next Monday we're going to be in Dallas when the Philadelphia Eagles come to town. That was it's going to be a good ball game next week, by the way, too. As I said, the Eagles are tied for second, a couple games behind with Washington.
Well, what were you saying first?
Well, I don't know. I'm talking to Dennis right now. Now, I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. I was glad to see Greasy open it up. That was a little bit of wide open play. It was a first down situation, and I'll get back to it next Monday.
Where will we be?
We're going to be in Philadelphia or Dallas.
2nd down and 9. Gain of a yard on that completion by Greasy.
Look out.
And down goes Bob Greasy. Hustling in there was Ken Kennard, who comes in whenever Houston goes to their 4-3.
It's a game of specialists. Man, they'll bring them in from all over. You see now we got a guy over the center, and that's who he beats. That's our young rookie. Bless his heart. He says, wait a minute. Y'all didn't tell me about this. I didn't have that long to study the playbook. But they sent him in for that reason. He doesn't get any help. The guy got right over him, and the guy over the 2 guards is man for man, and he beat him.
What they do, they bring in that 4th down lineman, overshift it. They still have a man over the nose of the center. Third down, a bunch, 21 to go.
Got a little trying to get a screen. Look out, Bob. Look out, Bob.
Greasy fires, and it's complete to Nathan. And Nathan is dropped at the 38-yard line. Flag is down.
Yep, that's right. They're calling the lineman down the field, I think, which was pointed out by one of the Houston defensive players.
Who had a hold of one of the linemen downfield.
He says, here he is, right here.
I've got him. He's captured.
You mentioned the age of specialization. The way they used Kennard on the play where he beat the kid, Denard. And as you look at Miami, you have to think back to those 72 and 73 Super Bowl teams. When, as Bill Wallace pointed out in a very good piece in the New York Times very recently, it was Bill Arnsparger as defensive coach who really, of the Dolphins then, who really started the age of specialization with the 53 defense, 53 being the number of Matheson.
Ineligible man, number 64, downfield on the pass.
Ed Newman downfield, and we found Bob Uecker finally. He's alive well here in Miami. You know what happens on that screen when you can't get it off? Those linemen, they don't know what's going on with that quarterback back there. Ed Newman, who was called for being downfield, didn't know what was happening. Greasy couldn't find a receiver. He took his 2 or 3 counts, turned upfield looking for somebody to block. As a result, Bob Greasy is surveying a 3rd down and 31 to go. Guriel Harris splits to the left. Greasy hands off. Tony Nathan. Nathan gets to the 21-yard line, and it'll be 4th down.
I'll tell you, I haven't watched this Andy Doris play much, but again, he came back in, slowed the action down, allowed some of his teammates to come in and fill in for the last part. Nathan tried to make a move to the outside, nowhere to go.
Well, after having started successfully using the run and getting up to around the 40, up to the 41, in fact, they're all the way back in their own 21. They got a kick against the wind. Houston will have good field position.
And Ellender, as you can see, position at the 40-yard line. Not anticipating a long kick from Roberts. Roberts hangs it up. It doesn't turn over. Ellender has the time at the 43. And Ellender brought to the turf by Glenn Blackwood back at the 40-yard line. They'll mark it at the 41, and that is where Houston will have possession when we return in just a moment.
Buick proudly announces some very fine cars and some very good thinking.
This is the 1980 Buick LeSabre. Room for 6 in the economy of a 3.8-liter V6 engine. The full-size car. Nobody does it quite like Buick. I guess nobody ever has.
This is a 1980 Buick Skyhawk. 4-speed, V6 engine. I think it's really me. And she thinks, she'll get used to it.
If you're looking for a diesel in a full-size luxury car, maybe you ought to start at your Buick dealer. There's a 5.7-liter diesel engine available on all the 1980 Electras and the LeSabre wagon. You know, it's a pretty nice way to travel.
This is the Buick Skylark. It has a surprising amount of room and comfort and really good economy and front-wheel drive. I think it just might be the perfect car for me. Or you.
Do you think that owning a 1980 Buick might be a good idea? Good thinking.
This is the breeze we've been talking about throughout the course of the evening. It is gusting and gusting somewhere up to 14, 15 miles per hour. And right now it's at the back of the Houston Oilers. 9:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We remain tied at 3 apiece. Dan Pastorini, the quarterback. The setbacks are Earl Campbell, 34. Tim Wilson, 45. Campbell gets the call. Breaks the tackle. And Earl Campbell at his finest inside Miami territory for a Houston Oiler 1st down at the 48.
You're exactly right. Take another look at it, Don. That's Earl Campbell.
Well, there's also pretty good blocking. Everybody hit somebody. Earl made a move to spin off and pick up a 1st down. I think this is very critical in the 3rd quarter for Houston to put scores on the board. They've got to go into the 4th quarter, I think, ahead of Miami in order to win. So if they're going to be conservative, throw it out the window, man. You got to get some points in a hurry.
1st down, 48-yard line of Miami. Tim Wilson gets the call. Wilson finds an opening, and Wilson uses his big body to get to the 43-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Don, isn't the basic point you just made the fact that Houston has the win? Apart from the Gary Davis fumble, it seems to me the biggest factor in this game has been the win. If you're going against the wind, you've got to play it safe. With the wind, open up.
It also seems to me, Howard, that both teams have decided they're playing it close to the vest tonight. Why, I don't know. I'm sure they've got good reasons, but nobody's really opening up. Dan hasn't thrown that much, and neither has Bob.
Castor and Burrows are the wide receivers for Houston. They both split to the right. Earl Campbell surges forward, short of the first down, close to the 40-yard line. It'll be third down, about 2.5.
There's young Denard.
He's getting ice treatment on the back of his neck. He's got an ammonia inhaler, trying to remember for sure that he's in the Orange Bowl.
I love his quote. Says, if you're going to open up at center, might as well open up on national television with Corley Cup.
Of course. He also got a bruised eye earlier. He's got the feel of Too Tall Jones at this moment.
Houston with a third down, 2.5 against the NFL's leading defense against the rush. They bring in Rob Carpenter. He's the wingback, top of your screen. They give it to Earl Campbell. Campbell has the first down. He's to the 37-yard line, inside the 37-yard line.
May I suggest, Mr. Gifford, that on his last 2 carries, he has not been running tentatively.
Not one bit.
What is his longest run, Frank? We were talking about this afternoon. Is it
23 yards?
23 yards from the line of scrimmage. Now, that's not an Earl Campbell year to begin with.
But that's because of the injury.
Well, three games ago he was injured, but up until that time, he had played 7 more. This is or 6 more, whatever. Anyway.
Tonight his longest run is 8 yards.
He's still leading the league.
And Earl Campbell gets the call. Gets to the 35-yard line. Give him a yard and a half. It'll be second down along 8.
Point you just made is the key point. He's still leading the league.
Yeah, he's still leading the league. He's an exceptional athlete. I thought that he handled himself so well as a Heisman winner out of the University of Texas. I was really impressed with the way he handled himself last year in Houston. They call them the Houston Oilers, and there's a lot of pressure on anybody, but I really am pleased with the way he's been able to handle it so far.
Second down along 8, the ball at the 35-yard line. Miami threatens the blitz. Handoff, Wilson. Wilson in the arms of Beaucamp. Line of scrimmage, that's it. It'll be third down and 8.
You see Beaucamp smother him done?
I saw him getting ready to it a long time before he called that play, so you just change off. You don't run that play.
And a quick no-huddle set by the Houston Oilers.
I don't understand that either.
Trying to keep Miami from changing into their pass defense.
That's what it is. Good thought.
Pastorini.
Right down the middle, Dan.
Pastorini, and there is a battle for the football. If there's dual possession rule, it goes to the offensive receiver. We'll see. Larry Gordon and Tim Wilson.
Well, it looked like to me the defensive guy had it, but that rule you mentioned, Frank, may put it the other way, and I think, well, Houston thinks they're going to do that anyway.
It was Larry Gordon and Tim Wilson. Pastorini with a very nifty move.
Bum says to heck with that.
Let's look again. Gordon and Wilson.
Well, Gordon had it. It was stolen back from him.
That's that rule, Frank. There's tie, you go to the offensive guy.
That's how it was ruled. 48-yard field goal attempt now by Tony Fritsch. He has a prevailing wind at his back. We keep talking about it, but it is an influence in this football game. A lot of distance.
He's got it.
And a lot of accuracy again.
Hey.
Tony Fritsch, who hit on a 46-yard field goal, has hit from 48 yards out. And Houston is out in front.
Goodyear Tiempo, official tire of the 1980 Winter Olympics, brings you Alice Betters, postal worker, Lake Placid, New York.
You know, up here in the Olympic country, we can experience 4 seasons of weather in one day, and that's why I got my Tiempos. It's a tire for all seasons.
Tiempo is the rain tire, snow tire, sun tire, one tire that does it all.
I got back and forth in Lake Placid's worst weather.
Get Goodyear Tiempo, the all-season radial, and eliminate winter tire changeover.
I'd like to talk to you about the Sony Betamax and an incredible feature called Beta Scan. I'm Tom Williams Sr., and if you know tennis, you know my son. Here's a cassette of his last championship match. Beta Scan lets me go fast forward and reverse, so I can skip the boring stuff like this long rally and stop when I come to the real exciting parts, like Tom Jr. here dashing onto the court to pick up the ball. Isn't Betamax terrific? It lets you see what you've been missing and miss what you don't want to see. It's from Sony, the one and only.
Sunday,
Is 100 okay?
They call it escort service, but it's really love for rent.
You used to hold the football, Don. Let's take another look at that 48-yard field goal.
All right, the snap's a little bit high on the right side. Not a place to do it. You see that old Gifford Nielsen moves it around. Now, watch this for the reaction. He says, now, I missed one earlier, but here's what I want to tell you folks here in Miami. It is good, and I am wonderful. I am wonderful. Yes, yes. He's speaking no English. He's got sign language.
That'll make Mr. Cap of Dallas happy.
Why not?
Bridge to kick off. The Oilers out in front, 6-3. Tony Nathan is deep.
Good kickoff, too.
And he'll run it out. Nathan upended. His gamble cost him 3 yards. The touchback, of course, wouldn't have been to the 20, but Booby Clark down there on the special teams defensively for Houston.
Oh, Booby Clark out of Cincinnati came down there. They thought he was going to be, he's actually out of third team backup for him, but he does a lot of special team work.
This is a critical series for Miami. They want to get out of trouble. They want to wind up with decent field position for the fourth quarter start so that they'll have the wind behind them.
But they don't want to screw up either. They don't want to make any turnovers right here.
That's exactly so.
Zonka and Davis the setbacks. Greasy to the air. Greasy sacked inside the 15-yard line. Ted Washington on the blitz. And Elvin Bethea was also there. Washington 59, Bethea 65, and they're going to mark it at the 8-yard line.
Deep trouble.
I don't think...
I would have kept it on the ground. Against the wind, you got to be conservative, Don.
They didn't do it. They lost a lot of yardage with their first possession, but they also ate up almost a little over 5 minutes that first time they had the ball. So now
on the ground.
Yeah.
Greasy now, 2 sacks, a loss of 20 yards. Gary Davis, and down goes Davis. Elvin Bethea, number 65, a 12-year man out of North Carolina A&T, who still has a lot of football playing left.
There he is, Elvin. Elvin, you are too much.
He gets relief now from Jesse Baker, a rookie out of Jacksonville State, on the passing situation. He comes in now, but they will move to the sidelines.
Excuse me. So immediately, Miami's going to be in deep trouble. Unless a miracle can pull them out of it now, Houston will have superb field position.
3rd down, 18. Gary Davis turns it to the inside, gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, but really was working on the clock, which says 3:35, and it's ticking away here in the 3rd quarter. Greg Bingham in on the stop there defensively for the Oilers.
All right, 3 points is not going to be enough for Houston to get in this 3rd quarter to win the ball game. They've got to get at least, I think they got to have a touchdown here. I think Miami in the 4th quarter will turn back around and put some points on the board.
I agree with you.
Richard Ellender, and he's at his own 45-yard line as Roberts sets the punt for Miami. Roberts off the side of his foot. And it takes a bit of a Miami bounce and goes out of bounds, but Houston will have the football at their own 47-yard line. 3:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Houston on top by 3.
There's a notion afoot that the boxier your car is, the more sense it makes.
Now, it seems like Buick and a whole lot of Regal owners disagree.
Instead of making the Regal look like a European jogging shoe, they made it crisp and clean.
Instead of making it austere, they made it luxurious.
And instead of underpowering it, they give it an efficient V6 engine.
Buick Regal. Proof that intelligence doesn't always come in a box.
Regal, when a car looks this good, it's nice to know it is this good.
You don't move mountains, you go through them. And all it takes to carve a tunnel out of a mile of hard rock is steel and sweat and dynamite. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Miller Beer. Saturday doubleheader action. First Syracuse Navy, Florida, Georgia, plus other games. Then highly ranked USC against Washington in a showdown for the Rose Bowl and more. Check local listings.
These are the other games we'll be covering as the second part of our doubleheader. University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Joe Morrison.
And number 40. Man never fumbled in his life until the title game against the Bears in '63.
Oh, you would recall that one.
If you're listening, Joe, I'll never forgive you.
Houston has the ball. They have the breeze at their back. 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. They're up by 3 points, 6-3. Earl Campbell gets to midfield, runs into the Dolphins. Rusty Chambers is there, closing down Doug Betters. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down 7.
Here's the basic point Don was making a moment ago that I agree with. Houston, if they don't score now, especially score a touchdown with the wind behind them, Miami figures with the wind behind them finally to untrack it and perhaps capture the ball.
We've laid it on the line, haven't we?
Castor and Burrows split to the right. And off. Big hole. Earl Campbell blows through it. 1st down, close to the 40-yard line. Ooh, can he accelerate?
He really can.
And that Houston offensive line is beginning to smash Miami's defensive line. That great defense.
Do you know how close Dallas came to having Earl Campbell in the backfield with Tony Dorsey?
Oh, my goodness. If they had those two together, nobody would ever beat them.
Well, there was a big rumor around. Everybody was swapping draft choices and other stuff to get this sort of thing from Tampa Bay, but Houston wound up with it. That would really be tough, wouldn't it?
The 1st down is at Miami's 40-yard line. Inside 2 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Campbell peers out to the left.
That's what he does.
He has super speed. He's short of the 1st down at the 32-yard line. Tim Foley taking Campbell out of bounds, and he's shaken up.
What did he hit over there? Now that could be bad.
This could be deep trouble.
Brings back memories of the old Bubba Smith accident running into the chains.
The lineman. I testified in that case.
Well,
I testified for Bubba. He lost the case.
What if that had anything to do with it?
Guess he didn't have a parking ticket.
Here's what he did really well, because right here is pretty well blocked up, and nobody really had a hand on him. He bumped out to the outside. You see Small coming over number 48.
I want to tell you, that Foley is really hit
that's what he did.
night.
Short of the 1st down by about 1.5 yards.
292. That's a quick track. 240. Well, he changed it again. Make up your mind.
Well, if he snaps it on 2, it's the automatic. That's what it was. Wilson gets the 1st down to the 25-yard line. It's taken there by Bocamper.
He tried to hit that open hole. He had a guy over the center, linebacker to the outside. Right up the middle, right over that guard.
Time ticking away here in the 3rd quarter. 1:15, clock moving. Houston out in front of the Dolphins, 6-3. The Oilers need a win tonight to stay 1 game behind Pittsburgh. Central Division AFC tied with Cleveland. Miami needs theirs to stay even with New England AFC East. On 1st down, Pastorini tries to split the zone to Rich Castor, incomplete.
Well, he had a really nice shot and hitting his backup tight end, Conrad Rucker, number 87, who'd just gone out there and uncovered about that middle zone. Could have picked him up a 1st down. Think what he does to linebackers when he hits that line, that yardstick just like that.
He bent it.
That could be very dangerous.
In Bubba's case, it bent Bubba.
By the way, Conrad Rucker, whom Don mentioned a moment ago, is in there because Mike Barber suffered a severely sprained knee in the 1st quarter. Earl Campbell, single setback, 2nd down 10. Mike Renfro, 82, top of your screen. Hand off Campbell. Betters tries to hold on, but Campbell lunges forward.
That was amazing.
Gets to the 22, gain of 3.
I would say there's not more than 3 backs in the National Football League right now that could have made 3 yards in that situation.
Only other one I can think of is Franco Harris.
Well, there's just no place to go. They're trying to run a trap. They see the guard. Well, he actually did do it pretty good, just a stalemate there, but Campbell's going right on the cross, moving it out of there. Good close down by Doug Betters. Here we go, Frank.
4 down linemen for Miami. 3rd down 7. Miami thinking pass. Pastorini changing off. Pastorini, he wanted to go out to Renfro. Renfro was well covered up there. by Norris Thompson. He had to change it off. Incomplete. Fourth down.
Well, it's a good thing he threw it out of bounds because Small was over Burrow like a tent and might have picked it off. This way they can get a field goal.
I think Frank hit it. He was trying to go outside to Renfro, and that was just really good defensive coverage over there. Norris Thomas came up. They had it. They might have been trying to go to a little zone. We have our showman back on now, Tony Fritz.
The impresario, Tony Fritz. 39-yard attempt. He's hit from 48. He's hit from 46. This to make it 9-3.
And there it is again.
Well, they got the field goal, Giff, but they needed a touchdown.
So the Oilers extend their lead over the Miami Dolphins. 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Bum would like to have had more.
Can you imagine trying to photograph an Olympic gold medalist like Jean-Claude Killy? It's quite a challenge. Made me really appreciate my Canon AE-1. The automatic shutter priority system is a must, especially when your subject's doing 50 miles an hour. Try it, it's fun.
What?
The AE-1 is so simple to use. About all you do is focus and click.
The incomparable Canon AE-1, so advanced, it's simple. Canon, the official 35mm camera of the Winter Olympics.
The problem? United States Steel wanted any service rep in any district sales office to be able to check the status of a customer's order, on the spot and in detail. This was a classic communications problem, so they called in the Bell System experts.
Their solution, a network of 400 high-speed Bell terminals in 29 locations. This gives service reps instant access to the facts they need. Another case that shows the system is the solution.
He's a 5'7", a 195-pound entertainer, and he likes his own act. And it's a good act.
He said, nothing to it but to do it. Stop, skate backwards.
There's Tony Fritz. He didn't think much of Jim Zorn throwing to Efren Herrera a week ago. He said kickers are meant to kick. Fritz hits it. This will be Tony Nathan at the 3-yard line. And Nathan, who cannot break it tonight, gets out to the 22. And that's the end of the third quarter. We'll watch another exclusive of ABC Sports. The score, Houston 9, Miami 3. We'll return for the fourth quarter in a moment.
Tomorrow, Good Morning America continues an important series to all parents. How to talk to your kids about sex. And Friday, Kate Jackson's back, and now she's a real angel who's got to bring some life to Topper.
We're going to teach you how to have a plain old good time.
It's a good time for everybody. Topper.
We begin the fourth quarter. The Oilers over the Dolphins 9-3. An important game for both of these ball clubs. It's been played very close to the vest. Miami now down by 6 points. Bob Greasy has a prevailing breeze behind him. He has gifted wide receivers in Nat Moore, Dorial Harris coming off a great game against Green Bay with 10 receptions a week ago. One would anticipate that Bob Greasy will put the ball in the air, but he goes with Gary Davis on 1st and 10. And Davis with a nice run moves out to about the 29-yard line, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down 3.
Sticking as close as he could to Larry Little that time. They had that one set up well. The defense didn't close that thing in, didn't turn it around, let him get outside.
This is, as has so often been said, the situation you love. 2nd and 2. Can play around.
Mark Denard remains at center, facing Curly Cope in most of the action. Greasy. Nat Moore is open. It's complete. And Nat Moore at the 40-yard line of the Oilers has a 1st and 10.
That's why you love a 2nd and 2 as an old quarterback, Don.
I like it. Now, you're going to see really good protection. He had time to sit back and throw it. There was nobody back there. Nat went to the inside. I don't know what happened right there. Came back and covered. All right. We said, Howard, they need to score at least a touchdown that 3rd quarter. They didn't. They did get 2 field goals. Nat Moore's wide open to the outside.
Very heady quarterback, Bob Greasy, against the breeze. He used his running backs as receivers. Now he's beginning to, or we will anticipate he's going to be able to go to those wide receivers on 1st and 10. Same play as a moment ago on 1st and 10. Gary Davis, less results this time. Pickup of a yard, it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Less results because Larry Little, the elder statesman, said last night when I asked him how he was, how could I be? I'm a year older. Missed his block.
Well, that plus Vernon Perry, who didn't come up the time before, did that time from his safety position and try to give him a little bit of containment and turn it back to the inside.
2nd and 9, the ball at the 39-yard line. Nat Moore put to the left. Dorial Harris is at the top of your screen. Good pass blocking. And Tony Nathan doesn't hold on.
Well, that hurt him a lot because he had him some yardage.
That hurt him a lot because they've got 3rd and long.
Well, he's working on it. Robert Brazil, number 52, comes out to go with him. But you see Nathan picks up a step on him right there. The ball's well thrown.
Right in there.
Tony's trying to make his move before he catches the ball. But as somebody said, you want to lose with a guy who has some imagination. He had visions of himself.
I wonder what Bear Bryant would have said a year ago had he dropped that one.
He'd have said it very slowly. Says, Tony, you come over here and sit by me for a while.
3rd and 9.
Even in practice, it said from the tower.
3 wide receivers. Cephalo is in there. Nat Moore and Cephalo are split to the right. Dorial Harris, bottom of your screen.
Watch it.
And the whistle blows, so Bob Greasy will not get a free one. The contact was made by the Houston Oilers.
That's a big break right there for the Dolphins.
It'll still leave them in a passing down.
Kennard got so excited because the last time he was in there, he was able to use that move and get by the young center. Got a little bit too anxious that time.
Ken Kennard, who comes in on the 4-man, 4-down lineman for Houston, looked to be offside.
See the way he's been throwing to his backs all night, as Frank suggested. The time has come, the Walrus said, to throw to your receivers.
What about cabbages and kings involved in that, too, isn't it?
It's been a long time since you've come up with things like that.
Yes, I know.
Nice to have you back. Where have you been?
Cephalo and Moore again go right. Harris is to the left. 3rd down, 4. Tony Nathan, Gary Davis, setbacks for Miami. Another flag, and I think this time Cephalo.
Oh, no.
I believe the penalty would go against Miami. In any event, Cephalo appeared as if he jumped the count. Gary
really
Davis,
did.
intended receiver, dropped the ball.
No question, Frank. They'll probably decline the penalty now, but no question that Cephalo jumped the gun.
Motion against Miami.
There it was.
Cephalo, top of your screen, in motion. Discussion being made down on the field. Here's the call.
Illegal motion, number 81, declined.
You know, I think he was offside because he looked down the line. There was a Houston linebacker that also jumped up to try to pull that offense offside, and I think it worked on Cephalo that time.
And out comes the field goal unit. Uwe von Schaumann, a rookie out of Oklahoma.
He's got a big foot and a big leg.
He's going to have to get him a nickname, or he's not going to get, Uwe von Schaumann is not going to go too much.
51-yard attempt can easily be reached.
He got it.
He got it.
Good. See what I mean? All right. The Dolphins pull 3 points closer. They're down by 3 with 12:26 remaining in the football game.
Lou here just loves tearing down engines. Right, Lou?
That's right.
A big engine overhaul can cost maybe $800. Right, Lou?
That's right.
A Fram oil filter about $6. But if you look after your car right, including changing the oil and putting in a new Fram filter when you're supposed to, Lou and your engine may never meet. But the choice is yours. You can pay me now or pay Lou later. Right, Lou? Lou?
That's right.
Oh, Grandpa, he's so cute.
Yeah, he's more than just a soft, cuddly dog. See, he's got a radio in his tummy.
Radio Shack's adorable, petable portables with AM radio inside. 6 different animals, priced $11.95 to $15.95. Choose the raccoon, black poodle, boxer, Pekingese, white terrier, and brown spaniel.
I love him. I love you.
Gift-priced animal radios, only at Radio Shack.
Amazing Sugar Ray Leonard, Olympic champ, now undefeated pro. This month he goes for the big one, the WBC World Welterweight Championship on ABC.
Von Schaman from 51 yards out. Don Strock places it down. And the rookie 7th-round draft pick hasn't picked up quite as much showmanship as his counterpart, Tony Fritsch, but he likes what he sees. It just took a little longer.
Working on it. There you go.
Set now to kick off.
He's the reason Shula let Yepremian go, even though the fans didn't like it.
Richard Ellender is deep. The kick on Schaman through the end zone. Touchback. That's another reason that Don Shula wanted to keep this youngster around. Can kick it long. He will prevent a lot of runbacks.
All right, here we go. 80 yards. Into the wind. Miami against the run is what now, Frank? The defense against
the tonight, they were 1 in the NFL against rushing.
That's what I wanted to hear.
And you hear the chant of this partisan crowd, defense, defense. Stadium capacity a little over 75,000. They could be very close to that tonight, although there was not a sellout before tonight's game. 1st and 10, the Oilers. Wilson. And Wilson is pounded there by Vern Den Herder at the line of scrimmage.
You don't want to let them get away from you now. You're playing in a visitor's ballpark that can be very vocal. And Pastorini sitting back there, and he says, I got to pick me up a 1st down. He gives it to Tim Wilson.
And assisting Den Herder, my friend, as you look at Bum Phillips, a remarkable inside linebacker named Steve Toll, number 56.
2nd and 10. Pastorini cannot have his signals heard because the crowd is really behind Miami at this point.
If I was the middle linebacker for the defense, I would sure be pleased with my position right now. He's run 1 down and he's made a half a yard. Comes out to run 2 and calls timeout because he came here. And he's got the wind in his face.
Single setback for Houston. Out comes Wilson. In comes Mike Renfro. 3 wide receivers. Kenny Burrow, 00. 82 is Renfro. 88 is Rich Castor. Campbell, the single setback. Burrow split to the left.
I've never seen him stop a crowd yet any other way except going up and running a play.
The white handkerchiefs are being waved the way the pom-poms were in Houston a year ago. That was November 20th. This is November 5th. Only 2 weeks difference. And don't ever let anybody kid you. The crowd's a part of the game when you've got crowds like this one.
Well, when you open it up and invite them to be a part of the game,
it'll be louder when he comes up this time.
Yeah, what do you think they want to do? This is a real shot. Crowd can be on national TV, you know?
Listen to that.
be only one way to end it, and that is run a play.
There's not the one guy can do it. It's number 7. And I'm going to get upset with him if he doesn't go up there and run a ball, man. You'll be in that area of what they call prima donna. Go up there and run a play.
There's someone who'll never be a prima donna.
I love that guy.
He ain't no prima donna. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the guy supposed to get it going out there.
He's got himself a new hat.
It's hard to tell with Bum. They all look creased just right.
Well, that's a new one. Got the big feather in it.
All right.
11:42 remaining in the game. Oilers on top. 9-6 over Miami. There's Campbell. He is smashed, and this will bring even more noise from the crowd. Rather fine defensive play. Baumauer this time. Gain of a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd and long. Call it 3rd and 8.
When you recognize the crowd from an offensive point of view in a visiting town, you're inviting more than 11 people to play defense.
Now Bob Baumauer is trying to quiet the crowd, as are some of the other Miami Dolphins. And they are a little less vocal. 3rd and 8. Pastorini, back. Herndon hurted there first.
Not surprising.
This is why we said Houston had to get a touchdown. You want to see the white handkerchiefs. There they are. The way the pom-poms were a year ago. Miami will have great field position, or figures to, with the wind behind them.
Cliff Parsley to punt for Houston. Tony Nathan drops for Miami. There he is, just about his own 40-yard line. Parsley doesn't turn it over. It's a short kick. Fair catch was called for out there by the Miami Dolphins. Kozlowski, and a flag was thrown because Kozlowski was not given the opportunity to make the catch.
That's right. It'll be against Houston.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night.
Mike Kozlowski had called for a fair catch on a short kick. The man running down for Houston, we could not pick up. I believe it would have been Carter Hartwig. I don't think he believed the ball could be kicked that short. And he collided with Kozlowski.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Options being talked over down on the field. We'll get the call momentarily. Our referee tonight, Fred Wyatt. Walked off against Houston. Here's the call.
Fair catch interference. Number 36. Touchdown.
Carter Hartwig. And quite frankly, I don't believe he thought that ball would be that short. He just collided with Kozlowski, but in any event, Miami Dolphins down by 3 points at the 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line of the Houston Oilers.
The least they figure to get out of it is a tying field goal with still the wind at their backs. The wind, the biggest factor in the game.
Gary Davis. And Davis hurdles over the 30-yard line. Good defensive play coming up there. J.C. Wilson. Flag is down. Wilson took on Zonka and tripped up Gary Davis.
That was a really good defensive play, Frank. He came in from that corner, holding. Let's even this thing up.
Holding against the Dolphins.
Well, you talk about a critical mistake.
Ron Sharman getting ready, but here's the call. Holding.
7 offense.
Bob Kuchenberg holding for the Dolphins.
Oh, you don't expect a veteran like Kuchenberg. Look at the differential in that stat. You don't expect a veteran like Kuchenberg to make that kind of mistake at that point, Don.
Well, it certainly surprised me.
Matt Moore out to the right. 1st and 20. Uriel Harris, split left. Greasy once more. Battle for the football is picked off in the end zone by Houston.
I can't believe that.
Coming up with it. Vernon Perry out of Jackson State, the 3-year Canadian Football League star who joined the Houston Oilers this year.
All right, Vernon.
Big turnaround for the Houston Oilers. They'll have the ball at the 20-yard line when we return to the Orange Bowl in a moment.
For centuries, man thought he had to incorporate all the colors in the sun's spectrum to create light. Recently, Westinghouse scientists made a dramatic discovery. The human eye sees better with light made from only 3 prime colors. Introducing Ultralume Prime Color Lamps from Westinghouse. Ultralume makes colors appear richer, makes textures and fine details seem clearer than ever before. Looking at things in a different light keeps Westinghouse a powerful part of your life.
Buick introduces the 1980s Century sedan, our little limousine. A brand new Century filled with room, comfort, and elegance. Powered by a responsive and efficient 3.8-liter V6 engine. A Century which by all appearances looks as though it should cost a small fortune, but which in truth does not.
Where to, folks? Home, Jimmy. Right, Mom.
Buick's new Century sedan, our little limousine.
Nat Moore is the receiver a moment ago. Vernon Perry is the defender. There he is. It's a zone. Wilson Dacey lets him go by. Perry picks him up and is in beautiful position. Up he goes. Interception. And Houston gets out of trouble.
And just a terrible sequence by Miami.
How can you throw into a zone? Easily, I guess.
1st and 10. The ball at the 20 following the touchback. Campbell gets the call. Looks for an opening on the left side. He gets 3-4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
What you just saw was a pair of mistakes almost beyond belief for so skilled and so magnificently coached a team as Miami. First, the holding call on Kuchenberg. Second, and John Madden would be the first to tell you this, you don't try to get it all back at once. With the wind behind them, all they had to do was chew out some smaller yards. Field goal. No, Houston has the football.
Ball marked inside the 24-yard line. 2nd down, 7. Captured. Readjusting to the tight end position. Campbell gets the call, and Campbell out over the 25-yard line, close to the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.5.
Big play for Houston, trying to maneuver for position so that if they have to give up the football, Miami won't have the great field position.
Steve Toll back in the lineup defensively now for Miami. Greasy looking over his game plan on the clipboard.
After that, I'd take a look at it myself.
3rd down, 2.5. The ball at the 27-yard line. Big play for the Oilers. They give it to the big man. He's short. Flags are down.
I haven't seen too many defensive calls.
It'll go against the Oilers. That'll bring up 4th down. I'm not so sure I wouldn't take this one with the breeze being what it is.
Shula declined it.
He wants the football.
Well, there's no reason to give him another shot at picking it up, no matter how far they have to go. He knows now they're going to punt, so he can definitely get the ball back.
I'm not so sure.
And he also knows against that wind that Cliff Parsley can't kick the ball. He's been kicking short all night. And deep goes Tony Nathan, a dangerous return man, leading the league after 9 games with over 15 yards per return.
A real credit to Miami's defense that time against the run. They took 3 big charges and held them.
Parsley, end over end. Nathan picks it up. And is dropped in his tracks at the 37-yard line. Still good field position, however, from the Miami Dolphins with 8:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll be returning in a moment.
When you break horses for a living and you do it wrong, they can break you first. But when you do it right, you can turn a terrified animal into a horse a man can count on. And now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time,
if you've got the time,
we've got the beer.
Miller Beer.
I'm Cheryl Teague. I feel at home in front of the camera. But behind the camera, I don't know the difference between a lens opening and a Broadway opening. So I rely on my Olympus OM10. My trusty OM10 gets great shots automatically. My OM10 has the smart little red light that tells me when it's okay to shoot. Oh, it's okay to shoot. Hold it, fellas. With Olympus OM10, great shots automatically.
Saturday doubleheader action. First Syracuse Navy, Florida, Georgia, plus other games. Then highly ranked USC against Washington in a showdown for the Rose Bowl and more. Check local listings.
Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith watching the Houston Oilers and the Miami Dolphins. The Oilers have a 9-6 lead, but the Dolphins have been threatening. Bob Greasy picked off in the end zone a short while ago. Turned back one drive. But they had the football, 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. An important game for Miami. They need it to stay abreast of the New England Patriots in their Eastern Division of the AFC. The Houston Oilers need it to stay within one game, tied with Cleveland behind Pittsburgh, AFC Central. Dolphin Denny, the cheerleader of the Miami Dolphins. Greasy, 11 of 19 on the night, 119 yards. Pastorini, 6 of 10, 25 yards for Houston. First down. Greasy gets the pressure, but he gets the ball off. Complete, Gary Davis. Davis with some nifty running inside Houston Oiler territory, close to the 48.
Yeah, this time you'll see it called a little differently. You won't see the going for the big bomb against the zone the way they tried it the last time.
Greasy gets away from the blitz on the part of Robert Brazil.
And Mark Denard got some help from Larry Little that time on Curly Cup. Had some time to throw. And Gary Davis, good balance, picked up the first.
Indeed it was. Bouncing off defensive back Greg Stemry. Davis, 7 receptions on the night, 51 yards. First down, Miami.
Fumble.
Gary Davis bobbles the ball, and it's Robert Brazil, I believe. Yes. Gary Davis with another costly fumble.
Things have a way of running in a pattern. Gary Davis's second key turnover. Last year they had a back named Leroy Harris, and the key to Houston's victory, as you look at a forlorn Gary Davis, the key to Houston's playoff victory, Miami had been marching toward what appeared to be a certain touchdown. Let's look at it again. And Leroy Harris fumbled, turning it over to Houston. This is the second time.
That was Curly Colt stripping the ball, and Robert Brazil was there. First down, Houston, midfield, 7:27 remaining in the game. Campbell just powers his way, strictly on his own. Close to the 45-yard line. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Happy man, Bob Brazil.
I'll tell you, he is some football player. Since he came up 5 years ago out of Jackson State, he has been fun to watch.
He's terrific. In the meantime, end of story, Leroy Harris is with the Philadelphia Eagles. How do you like that? The whole story right there. The turnovers.
Houston and Dan Pastorini will let that clock run. On 2nd and 6, Campbell gets the call. Swarmed under, first man there, Larry Gordon. Then hustling up, Neil Colsey from free safety. A loss of a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
The last 5 times they've run with the ball, they haven't made 10 yards total. Pretty good comment for that defensive line and whole unit for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, it's the time, like the time when Frank was with the Giants, and the offense came in, and Robustelli, captain of the defense, said to Kyle Rote, hold him.
It was Sam Huff. 3rd and 8. Campbell over 100 yards. The first back to do so against the Dolphins this year. He increases it here, but he'll be short of the first down. The Oilers very conservative.
They really are, aren't they?
They also leading.
You don't think
9-6. Campbell again slow getting up. 4th down, and that will produce the punting unit. Cliff Parsley.
Looks like a knee brace that he's got there on his right knee.
Whatever, he's got 107 yards, and like you said, he's leading the league.
He's leading the league.
Leading the conference, not the league.
All right.
Matt Moore is deep now for Miami. Anticipating Parsley's high kick. That's what he did on another opportunity. And it's going to be too much time. An old ploy in the league. 4th down, less than 5. You give them a long count, take the penalty, and hope to draw them off sides and get a first.
5:13 left.
Delay. Offense. 4th down.
Doesn't really have much of an impact as to where the ball will be taken by Miami. They're going to be in their own territory, fairly deep. But Parsley can come through with any kind of a punt. So that's a 5-yard sacrifice. Parsley hangs it high. Fair catch called for and made by Nat Moore. In a crowd at the 17-yard line. 5:05 remaining in the game. Nat Moore put back there in place of Tony Nathan. I believe probably just because he has had so much experience as opposed to the rookie Tony Nathan. A very critical time right now for Miami. They've had their opportunities. They had an interception in the end zone of a Bob Greasy pass. They had a Gary Davis fumble at midfield.
And the Gary Davis fumble on the opponent's 15 in the first half. But they've got Von Schauman's foot.
On 1st and 10. Greasy. Screen to Davis.
Good move.
Gary Davis out over the 20-yard line to the 23-yard line. Taken there by Ken Kennard, moving over from his defensive line position.
Brazil was in good position that time. And yet he was blocked, got up from one block, slowed Davis down a little, but not enough to make the tackle. Let some of his other friends come over, and they picked up 8 yards.
Shula's already worried about the clock, down to 4:32 and counting down. He's trying to get them to hurry up. Very much a part of the ball game, but he can't retain the football for his team.
Duriel Harris, split left. Nat Moore, wing back, top of your screen, right for Miami. Donka gets the call, gets the first down, bowling ahead, out to the 29-yard line.
No flag on that play, Frank. It looked to me like Houston was offside.
I agree.
Don Shula exhorting his troops. I'll tell you one thing. If you want a quarterback out there that can handle the clock and handle a team, is the man that's out there now, Bob Greasy. He knows right where he is.
Well, he's in trouble if he knows.
On 1st down. Gary Davis does not hold on, incomplete. Smacked there by Greg Stemrick. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And a pair of 27s colliding, Stemrick and Gary Davis.
You like Stemrick, don't you, Howard?
He hits. You just saw an example of it. I think he's really, regardless of number of interceptions, the best defensive back they got.
Mike Reinfeldt leads the NFL in interceptions. But they have been getting a lot of pressure from that blitzing core of linebackers, and they're down 3 men. Now they set up in a 4-3. 3:38 remaining in the game. 2nd down and 10.
That's twice. These offside.
Flags are down, and Greasy goes down.
Well, that offside penalty is going to hurt him.
Looked like Curly Culp was just a little anxious in the middle.
It looked that way from here. Let's see if there was inducement. Nope. Big break for Miami.
Greasy had been sacked inside his 20-yard line. Watch 78. You just see the 8 right over the center. There's Curly Pope.
Yeah, he's in there. 15-yard difference on that little play.
Smith, number 78, offense.
A 15-yard turnover. You're exactly right.
All Shula wants is field goal position for the kid from Oklahoma with the big foot and the big leg to at least tie it up. Send it in overtime.
It'll be second down and 5. Nat Moore goes right. Duriel Harris left.
Well, they picked him up.
Going for Duriel Harris. A flag is down, and I believe that Greg Stemrick bumped Duriel Harris beyond the 5-yard zone.
He absolutely did. There can be no question about it.
Well, I think there might be a question, but I'd like to see it.
You'll see it
on ABC Monday Night Football. We get it all.
There it is.
Bum, I don't blame you. It was so close, son.
Bum lost his hat.
I don't blame him.
There goes the new hat.
He's coming up saying, Coach, look, it's all right.
Call against Stemrick. Working against Duriel Harris. There was single coverage. Let's take a look at it now. Stemrick cannot touch him after he goes 5 yards downfield.
All right. Now, who ran into who?
Who against whom?
Yeah, well, whom against whom is right. I'm saying he's looking for one, folks. He's looking for one there.
Cannot impede his movement downfield. You'll be the judge of it.
Well, okay.
On 1st and 10. Greasy firing incomplete, almost picked off by Reinfeldt.
Bad throw. He had Duriel Harris cutting across the middle. Could have had them in solid field goal position.
It'll be 2nd and 10. The ball just inside the 40-yard line.
As John's new friend, Uwe.
Uwe, it's not Uwe, it's E-U-W-E. How you pronounce it?
It's Uwe.
See there?
Uwe.
I have a feeling we'll have to learn to pronounce it. He'll be around a while. Fine kicker. 2nd and 10. Duriel Harris, split left. Nat Moore, top of your screen. The tight end is Bruce Hardy. He's been quiet all night. Going for Hardy. Incomplete.
All right, now, they had 3 receivers over there in about an 8-yard radius. Bob, what happened?
He didn't like it either.
Somebody went the wrong way. You don't have them all over, I don't think.
That brings up 3rd down and 10. 3:10 remaining in the game. The Oilers on top, 9-6. A field goal could tie it up. Send it into overtime.
The Oilers have gone to that 4-man defensive front 4 these last series of downs.
They do it on the pass. They bring Kennard in. And they get a good rush. And they bring in number 75, Jesse Baker. There he is, bottom of your screen, defensive end. Complete. Tony Nathan, 1st down Miami, inside the 25-yard line at the 23.
You talk about a big one.
That's it.
A rookie from Alabama.
Well, the 4 big guys didn't put any rush on him. You see that offensive line come through one more time. Beautifully thrown ball across the middle to Tony Nathan.
Now you don't want to panic here. You got 2:39 left, counting down. You're in good field goal position. You don't have to throw every down. Not anymore.
Absolutely.
You got all your timeouts left.
I think Bob Greasy is well aware of the situation.
Go to zone.
Zonka plows to the 20-yard line. Picks up 3. 2nd down, 7. And an overtime flip of the coin could be very critical. The wind being such a factor here tonight. And the offensive movements. We're approaching the 2-minute warning. Bob Greasy has already started to move over to the Dolphin bench. There it is. 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter or the game. We'll find out in a moment.
Goodyear Tiempo, official tire of the 1980 Winter Olympics, brings you Art Devlin, Vice President, Lake Placid Olympic Committee.
If you're coming up here for the Olympics, let me tell you, with our crazy weather, it's no picnic driving here any season. That's why I drive on Tiempos.
Tiempo is the rain tire, snow tire, sun tire. One tire that does it all.
That Tiempo is one great tire, I'll tell you that.
Get Goodyear Tiempo, the all-season radial, and eliminate winter tire changeover.
I'm Frank Schroeder. If you're like me, this is the only kind of running you want to do on a business trip. That's why you should stay at a Hilton, because Hilton can put you within walking distance of almost every business, financial, and entertainment center in the country.
Good morning, Mr. Shorter. Good morning, Mr. Shorter.
So when it's time to get down to business, why run when you can walk?
There's no place like Hilton.
Turnovers have been the story thus far tonight. 3 by Miami. But Miami still threatening. 2 minutes remaining. They have the football. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 20-yard line with 2 minutes remaining.
And the other story, Giffer, the win. It seems like as you look at Bum and his back, and thank goodness he's got the ribbon back on his new hat. But they're at the 20, and the part of the field they're on is where the whole game has been played, except for 1 point in the first half when Miami marched against the wind, and Gary Davis fumbled it away on the Houston 15. But the wind, the key fact.
2nd and 7. The wind now at the back of Bob Greasy. Greasy picked off. Greg Bingham. And Bingham has a lot of friends in front of him. Greg Bingham brings it all the way back to the 32-yard line. 4th turnover of the game.
I'm telling you. They don't want to win this one tonight.
They sure don't. They had every chance in the world.
Larry Zonka made the tackle.
He stepped right in there and good. That was a good defensive position.
It really was, John. He played it perfect.
He was not pressured that much, Frank. You see Kuchenberg starts at center there again. He's replaced our rookie. He had time to throw. And Gregory just stepped right there in front, man, and took it back. Watch him go. Watch him go.
You got Robert Brazil, 52, directing traffic for him.
Now, you know, 64 went off the field and came back and tackled him. You can't do that.
All night long, he has thrown to his backs. There's Bingham, who's the momentary hero and maybe the ultimate one.
1st down call. Earl Campbell, right side. His job, get the 1st down, work on the clock, which indicates 1:40 and moving. Timeout called by Miami. That leaves them with 2 timeouts. Gain of 2 by Earl Campbell. When we come back, Houston will have a 2nd down and 8, 1:37 remaining.
You know, without changing its character as a fine 6-passenger automobile, Buick did some very logical things to its new LeSabre. Compared with last year's, it's not only lighter, but these tires are designed to roll freer. It's more efficient aerodynamically under the hood, an economical V6 engine. I really am impressed with the logic, but frankly, I'm nuts about the looks.
Buick LeSabre. The more logical we made it, the better looking it got.
When it's your vacation and you fly there for less.
That's Transamerica Airlines.
That's Transamerica. When you can get more life insurance than you thought you could afford.
That's Occidental Life.
That's Transamerica. When you rent a car and get the feeling that you're number one.
That's Budget Rent-A-Car.
There are many companies in the Transamerica family, and they all stand for just one thing. First-rate service at a fair price. That's Transamerica.
Greg Bingham, who had just picked off a Bob Greasy pass, returned it all the way back to the 32-yard line of the Miami Dolphins.
Look at that. I don't understand this league anymore. Not like a Shula team. I saw Bartkowski give it away last Monday.
Here's Earl Campbell on 2nd down and 8. And Campbell driving up close to a 1st down. I believe just a little short. Rusty Chambers over there on the stop. Bob Greasy.
You look at that great...
2 interceptions on the night.
Frank, you look at that great professional through all the years. He's in easy field goal range.
Well, the other players are professionals also, though.
I understand, but I'm talking about play selection. Why throw the ball? How many times when George Allen was coaching did you hear him say, don't give it away?
He's not coaching anymore, though, is he?
He may be back.
Oh, I see. Well, those ifs and buts were candy and nuts. We would have a Merry Christmas. We've talked about that before. I thought there was a good block that last time, as a matter of fact, by Rich Casper, who was out there in front, neutralizing his man to allow Earl Campbell to get so close to a first down, we may even have to measure. But we probably
Miami
won't.
has used another timeout. They're down to 1:27 on the clock. Houston without a turnover tonight. Miami has 4.
Well, the way it looks now, New England will be alone in the AFC East. A game ahead of Miami, 2 ahead of the Jets, who suddenly loom with playoff hopes.
Pastorini, as you see, 6 of 10, 25 yards. His big weapon has been Miami.
That's true. Absolutely true.
Campbell, 114 yards. The first running back in this season to gain over 100 yards against Miami. And I do not believe that this great young athlete is playing at 100%. Carpenter in motion. Campbell gets the first down. And Miami uses their final timeout. We will be seeing both these teams later on. It'll be November the 29th for the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots on a Thursday night. And Miami did not call timeout. Clock continues to move. They have 1 remaining. And we'll be watching the Houston Oilers and the Pittsburgh Steelers later.
December 10th.
First down call. Campbell rolling ahead, holding on to the football. That's his job. Rusty Chambers in on the stop, and Miami uses their final timeout. 36 seconds.
We just saw Don Shula, the great coach. Just saw him use his hands in a kind of hand shrug rather than a shoulder shrug.
Well, he's got to be pleased with his defense because really they haven't given up much at all. It's his offense has made some turnovers, the fumbles, interceptions, and didn't put any points on the board. We didn't see a touchdown all night.
And New England is going to have sole possession of the Eastern Division of the AFC with a 7-3 record.
And Houston hangs tough. A game behind the Steelers, and even if the Steelers prove to be unbeatable as they presently look, there is the wild card situation, and Houston would settle for that to get into the playoffs.
And what a job Chuck Noll and the Steelers have done this year. They are a great football team, but they have really fought the injury adversity well.
And now they're getting healthier and healthier. Benny Cunningham can play more and more. Lynn Swann, so utterly resourceful.
What doesn't help this Houston club is their schedule for the last half of this season.
Brutal. It's just toughest in the league.
Brutal. They play Oakland in the Astrodome next Sunday. Then they have Cincinnati, Dallas, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Houston. For Miami, well, the way things have gone this year, it's all tough. 2nd down and 8. Pastorini drops to the turf. Miami cannot stop the clock. They need to run one more play.
Time for Don to sing.
Well, I think in 10 years, this is the first time I've ever missed it. And I took a real chance as I sang it the other way at the beginning of the 4th quarter.
So did I.
Yeah.
I want to thank our spotter, Steve Bazika, our statistician, Jerry Klein, as the seconds tick off on the clock. And the Oilers have defeated the Dolphins 9-6. Earl Campbell, a big night. The first running back to go over 100 yards against Miami this season. And a nice man, Dan Pastorini, using Earl Campbell judiciously, capitalizing on the turnover. Those of you on the West Coast, stay tuned for 2:40 Robert. Once again, the final score, Houston 9, Miami 6. Join us next week for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Brune Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Dennis Lewin. Directed by Chet Forty. Technical director Bill Morris. Associate director Rob Biner. Be with us this Saturday for NCAA college football, a doubleheader. Check the local listings for the time and game in your area. This is Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith saying so long from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. More people fly United to Hawaii than any other airline. This has been a presentation of the leader, ABC Sports, bringing you exclusive coverage when the world comes to America this February for the 1980 Winter Olympics. And the happy man who scored all the points for the Houston Oilers, Tony Fritsch. Yes, Tony, you've got it.
A special assignment tomorrow on ABC's World News Tonight. Children of fear. Can surviving children of disasters cope with more than the usual amount of growing pains?
They start acting a lot more dependent on Mommy and Daddy.
I'm so scared now. I'll make you die.
Tomorrow, ABC's World News Tonight.